All right. Hi, everybody. How's it going? How about a Friday night stream? I don't think I've ever done a Friday night stream before. Everyone needs to let me know if my audio sounds okay. And here we are. Here we are. This is something that Chris and I had been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
And
hey, I don't know if you heard me when I said that somebody in your chat said that this was Chinese restaurant music. So I was going to let you, if you want, explain to the folks at home what music they were listening to.
that was Tommy Tallarico's music from the PlayStation Developers Disc.
Yeah.
I think it came with like the first. Well, I think it was like the first shipment of PS1s.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just trying to see if there's a way to make my font bigger in the chat here. It doesn't seem to be working. Oh, maybe I need to turn on this keyboard. That would probably help.
Do you have like a noise gate turned on or something?
I do. Does it sound weird?
Because you're cutting in and out.
Oh, on the stream?
Yeah, like well, I'm not listening on the stream. I can just hear you through the
chat. Let me know if people.
You're cutting in and out. For me, if you're not cutting out for them, then who cares? But
I shouldn't be for you, but maybe that's just something that Discord is doing. But
maybe
it shouldn't be.
Okay.
As long as it's good. I mean,
yeah,
if I have to repeat myself, I'll repeat myself.
It's good, so don't worry about what I said then.
So here I have the first issue that I've received from GameHistory.org's Game Magazine subscription, something that we both sign up with like right away as soon as they posted it on Twitter. And basically what it is that if you sign up for this, they will send you one of their extra magazines every month. And I think it's kind of an awesome thing, and you get to help out a good company, and you get to relive the good old days of.
They're a nonprofit organization, so they're doing this as a fundraiser. So
yeah.
So I mean, you're not even helping out a company; you're helping out an awesome nonprofit group.
Right. That's right. So we basically.
I'm surprised that magazine found its way to your house the way the
mail's been going. Yeah. I've had some scary times with certain packages not arriving very quickly lately.
So hey, do you want me to paste the link in the
chat
now?
Yeah. If anybody wants to sign up for it, they should absolutely sign up for it.
It was a long link, man. Because I just wanted to explain to people that when you sign up for this, you can say you want only 80s and 90s magazines, only magazines from the 2000s, or you can just say surprise me, and then you'll get something from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Yeah. I have a feeling I'm going to change mine to surprise me. I chose 80s and 90s at first, but I feel like there's a lot more of a chance of me getting something I already have then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very possible that I have this already. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
because I mean, in case it's not clear to people, you have not opened this yet, so we don't know.
Right. Exactly. It arrived on Wednesday, and it's just been sitting here waiting for a live stream.
How are you able to stop yourself from opening it?
But it was tempting. I mean, I had it sitting right next to me most of the time these last couple of days.
I mean, I have mine right here, and I haven't opened mine yet either. So,
and we're gonna do another stream for yours, like not tonight, but another day, like maybe tomorrow or the next day, and we'll do that on your channel. I'm probably on CGQ Plus, I assume, or maybe on the main channel. I don't know. I mean, I guess
I don't know.
I mean, whatever.
Maybe it's time to pull out the big guns. Put it on the main channel.
Yeah, you never know. I think that there's a reason why I'm doing this on our channel instead of doing it on Twitch. Yeah, I feel like it's just gets more attention and more people come and hang out this way.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to see what I got here?
Yeah, I'm dying of curiosity.
All right.
Because you should point out, I mean, as they were saying, like some people, like you could get like a Nintendo Power issue #1.
Yes.
Or something like that. I mean, it's not like it's just random doubles that they have. So
exactly. And somebody did get Nintendo Power #1 this month. Awesome. They had one issue of Nintendo Power #1. They randomly sent it to somebody.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. You guys are going to see it before. I'm going to do the old bit head. You guys are going to see it before I do.
Oh, I think I know what magazine it is. Oh, you're gonna be happy. Oh, nice.
This is Game Fan issue number 5.
Wow. I don't think I have that
Volume 1,
one.
issue number
That's awesome.
5. Wow. This is like before I started reading Game Fan. How about that?
That is sweet.
And he said they sent like look at that. It comes with a certificate of authenticity. And a nice little sticker for it.
Yeah.
They're doing it up right. Everybody should go and sign up for this because this is a pretty good deal, I think. That's
Oh yeah, you should mention the price. It's if you do the subscription, it's $15 a month plus shipping. Which, you know, for a new magazine that would be a horrible deal, but you know, these are, you know, any magazine you get, like they're collectible magazines that have value that's not going to go down. So I mean, not like getting a new magazine where you just read it and chuck it or something.
that's cool. Look at that. It's like a nice little.
Pretty neat.
It certifies that the item included in this package is a genuine piece of video game history, which has been de-accessioned from the archives of the Video Game History Foundation. I never heard de-accessioned. Is that what it is?
I don't know that word.
I never heard that word before. Occasionally, items like this are de-accessioned when they are no longer needed, or when we house a duplicate. All sales of de-accessioned items are directly benefit the upkeep and growth of our collection. Well, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Someone in your chat named Mark Dell asks, what should I do if I have a lot of magazines I don't want? Probably a lot of European ones at my parents'. I mean, obviously you could sell them or you could donate them to the Video Game History Foundation.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's some sweet cover art right there.
That is. Who was is it Terry Wolfinger who did was the cover artist for Game Fan? I know he was later on.
You know more than I do.
I guess we can always look. Yes, April 93. Man. So I would have been 14. Almost like going on 15 at the end of the year there.
Yeah.
Wow,
you got Splatterhouse 3 in there, Terminator CD.
Yep. In-depth Batman Returns review for the Super NES.
Yeah.
Game Fan exclusives, Ninja Warriors, Annette Again, and Devastator. Hot new CDs from Japan. And exclusive news on Street Fighter 3. Remember the whole thing was like, Capcom needs to learn how to count to 3. And then when Street Fighter 3 first came out in the arcades, it just said 3 on the marquee.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Right away.
Dang.
Look at this. Turbo Duo. Buy the best for less. So you can order some games with it if you wanted to. I wonder how many people actually like sent away to order it. You think it's just because they couldn't find it locally?
Bithead did. Remember, he's told that story about he had to order it through the mail.
Oh. You know what's really funny is that it says like the total price of Sega system $399.98, and it's like using the Sega font that's on like the U.S. covers.
That should just be illegal. What is that? Oh, you trade in your old 16-bit. So that'd be kind of cool. I wonder if that's what Bithead did. If you see on the right-hand page there, they'll give you $50 in credit if you trade in your old 16-bit unit. So I assume that includes if you had a TurboGrafx already.
Yeah,
I mean, technically that's not 16-bit.
Says trade in your old 16-bit unit and get the new. I think you can probably turn in like other people's, the competitors' systems as well.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like I wouldn't, at this time there's no way I would like give them a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like if you were somebody that had already gotten a TurboGrafx 16 in like 89 or 90, and then you wanted to upgrade, if you could give them back your TurboGrafx and get $50 for it, that wouldn't be a bad deal.
Yeah, I mean,
because you could TurboGrafx brand new was only $100 back then, so.
it seems so cheap now, but at the time, $100 was so
Yeah.
far out of reach. It's like
Yeah.
half a summer of mowing lawns.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd mow lawns
$2.99
all summer
that's
to buy a
a lot of money.
whatever Super Nintendo RPG that was selling for 69 or 79.99.
Yep.
Right. So right away we're getting see? All art by Terry Wolfinger right down here.
See, you know everything. You probably know that guy.
No, I do not. I just remember his name because he
Slept on
did
his
also
couch
did
one
the art for Game Go
for
for a
what?
minute. All right.
Hey, Smoke Monster's here,
Oh, nice.
just so you know.
I don't usually drink on stream, but I'm like having a little whiskey tonight because it's Friday.
Yeah.
It's just like any other day, honestly. That in these days and times when you don't have to, when you work from home, every day is the same. All right. I'm gonna skip over the letter to the editor. Top 10: Street Fighter 2, Sonic 2. It's a good top 10. Like,
I
what was
was like
most
looking at
wanted
these
though?
because it gives you a sense of like when, you get a little snapshot, like that's what was going on in gaming. And like, this is the April issue you said, right? So this is like
Yeah.
February, probably February data maybe that these lists are based on.
I mean that top 5 is pretty great. I mean, I'd almost say top 6 because I mean I'm one of the few
What, you
Super
don't think
Star
Art
Wars
of Fighting
fans,
and
I think.
Fatal Fury 2 are good? On the
Oh, I
Neo
guess
Geo?
it is a Neo Geo. I mean, when I think of that time period though, I think of those games like their ports, which were not very good, like the Super Nintendo
Yeah.
versions and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I did play Art of Fighting in the arcade, but that's it. And
I
World
played a lot
Heroes.
of
I
World
like
Heroes.
World Heroes a lot. I have World Heroes 2 Jet.
That's like I never think about, people will ask on Twitter like, hey, like what's your guilty pleasure game or whatever, and I never have an answer because I don't think on my feet that fast, but I would say World Heroes is like a guilty pleasure game of mine because everybody says how that game kind of sucks, because it's a really blatant Street Fighter 2 ripoff, but like I think that's the first Neo Geo game I ever played like in an arcade, and so I just have kind of a soft spot for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the first one. I think mine was. I mean, I don't know. It might have been the first Fatal Fury. Yeah, but I mean, World Heroes I liked a lot. Like I liked it enough for it to be one of the few Neo Geo games that I own, like the MVS game. All right, Hocus Pocus. Such a weird name for like a code section, I think, because I wouldn't normally think of them, being codes. Although there is a level select for Road Avenger, one of the best games on the Sega CD.
Hey, speaking of Sega CD full motion video games, I'm sure you saw that thing that I think it's Mobius Strip Tech is going to sell.
Yeah.
You gonna get that?
I was thinking about it, but I'm not sure how much use I'll get out of it because I mean I have my Sega CD and 32X like all hooked up anyways.
Yeah.
And it's just like a handful of games, like 32X CD games that I would use with it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
I
just
don't
figured if I wanted to like record gameplay footage of a 32X CD game, I could just burn the game.
Right.
Because I mean I have a 32X and I have a Sega CD, but
and there is something like 6, isn't there like 6 games or something like that?
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah. So it's hardly even worth it. Oh, when every magazine had to have a comic.
Did you ever read these? Like
I mean, I guess.
I don't think I've ever. What's that?
I guess I did, but it's just, I mean, they were never very good. Like even the ones in Game Pro and everything, just,
Yeah.
I guess none of them are as bad as Niles Nemo, but.
Or what was the one that was in Nintendo Power?
Oh, that's Nestor and Howard and Nestor, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, but hardly a draw.
Yeah. Just that one pane. What does that say? Blowmeister Games.
Blowmeister Games Incorporated. Yeah, they're the.
That looks like the cover art for which Pink Floyd album was that? Animals.
Maybe. I don't
I think
know.
they ripped it off.
I'm not very well versed in my Pink Floyd albums. I just know the one. Isn't that the one with all the women sitting with their backs to the pool? Or is that like a whole bunch of album covers on their backs? There's like a poster I remember seeing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But somebody agreed that it's animals, so
Okay.
Yep.
Like this one even goes for more than just 2 pages.
Oh, that's
I guess this was Terry Wolfinger's time to indulge in whatever he wanted to make.
Do you think he also drew that? Because
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't
right here
look
it did.
near. Really?
Yeah.
Because that looks really bad to me. Like, well, I think the cover art looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't know. It's just
Well, somebody
it,
said
it,
the
it
picture in
almost
the
looks like it's like
comic is
watercolor kind of.
So, yeah.
Although, here we publish a gaming magazine which is called Bite Hard Lame Fan.
Wow.
All right, now we get into the Viewpoint, which is their reviews, but
Those are
it
so
really takes
small,
off
you
like the
can't even
EGM
read
style, but there's like it's so small sometimes that it's
Yeah.
hard to keep track.
Like I have this maximized on my screen and I cannot read
And
any of it.
I mean, I can zoom in a little bit. I mean, I can.
Okay, that was not a criticism of what you're doing. I'm just saying it.
I mean, we can
Very
get a better
tiny.
look like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What do we got here? We got James Bond 007 for what? Doesn't even say.
Hey, you got a 2-pound from InGen UK who wants to know where the H last Sunday's live stream is.
Oh, I mean, it should be there. I mean, it always goes right to the playlist. I mean, it
Unless
definitely
he's
should be
asking
there.
about the audio, but you released that like yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. But thank you. I mean, it should be in the playlist because I think that it gets put into the playlist as soon as it's over, as soon as the stream ends.
Hey, is that Cyborg Justice on the lower left?
Yeah, that was one of the last few black grid boxes that I needed to get.
Dude, those are really high scores for
Yeah.
a pretty bad game. I remember
Yeah.
I bought that game.
Well, even
not
this.
back in the day, but I bought it like at a used game store, and I'd never heard of it, and I was so excited because, like, how can a game named Cyborg Justice not be just like the most awesome thing ever? And then I was crushed when I played it.
I mean, the idea behind it's cool, but I'm more shocked at the 90 and 85 and 87 for Blaster Master 2. Because that was a major disappointment. If the live stream's not showing up, then I will go ahead and fix that after the stream. I don't know why it would be doing that. Maybe it doesn't say live stream in the title, so that's how it usually puts it in that playlist, is because it like searches like based on keywords. And I have it say if anything has the word live stream in the title, it'll automatically put it in that playlist. So maybe I'll have to go ahead and fix that. Fatal Fury 2, Outrun 2019, a game that was future, in 93, but it's now 2 years in the past. Not a great game, but a pretty good soundtrack on it.
Is that a basketball game right below it?
No, it's Hit the Ice.
Sorry, I can't see any of it, so it's all very tiny.
I know it's like it's Hit the Ice.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't really know anything about. It looks pretty good though.
Yeah.
And after that we have Adventures of
Beamish.
Willie Beamish, which got some pretty high scores too.
And is that Batman Returns right below it? That's the Super Nintendo game, isn't it? Looks like it.
Yeah. They got Ninja Warriors though.
But they do. So there's full reviews of most of these games later on in the magazine.
Right.
Oh well, we should just skip to those then.
Okay.
Because this is not super readable.
It's not. They were still figuring it out. I got Parodius though on the next page. Magician Lord. Muhammad Ali boxing.
What, Proteus Da? Or
Uh,
I can't read it. So
it just says Parodius, but it's I have no idea what version it is. It's the first 8 meg Hue card for the PC Engine. So whatever one
that's
is on the
Proteus
PC
Da,
Engine.
then.
And there's Nam 1975, which is a pretty good game.
Really?
I never thought that it looked very good in pictures, but once I finally got a chance to play it,
Yeah.
it's kind
Well,
of
the
like
pictures that they clearly stole from Full Metal Jacket are pretty awesome.
the what?
Some of the stills in that
Oh.
game are like they took like still frames from Full Metal Jacket and just digitized them. Like, you should look it up. It's pretty funny. Like,
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
For those that have never played it, it's kind of like Wild Guns a little bit. It plays like that, without the jumping and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. We got a $5.
You got a $5 donation from Jonathan G there,
Thank you.
who said he had to put down his cat today.
Ah,
And I've been through that, and I know how that feels. So
I'm sorry.
for sure my
Jeez.
heart goes out.
It's always rough to lose a pet. I mean, I haven't had a pet until recently, these last couple of years. So I've kind of forgotten what it feels like to lose a pet. I never played this. You ever play Muhammad Ali heavyweight boxing?
I don't believe so, unless I might have played it for 5 or 10 minutes for some reason, but no. I've never found like any kind of simulation style boxing game that I actually liked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what boxing games I like that aren't Punch Out or Super Punch Out or
Right.
whatever they called Punch Out for the Wii. Wasn't that just Punch Out again?
Yeah, but that's a very good game. Have you played that version?
No, yeah, those are. I'm saying all the Punch Out games are good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever liked a boxing game that wasn't one of those. But somebody in the chat's mentioning Fight Night 3 or Fight Night for the 360, which I've heard good things about. I've just never played them.
Yeah, I've never played any of those. I do have one of them for the I think it's the GameCube version, because it had Punch Out. The Super Nintendo Punch Out game was an unlockable in it, and Try got it for the Games Within Games episode.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't even want this, so you can have it."
Oh.
I've never played it though. And the whatever the Japanese version of what became Buster Douglas Boxing, like the
Yeah.
graphics are really good on it, but it's not very fun at all to play.
Yeah.
This game, do you have any strong feelings on the Terminator for the Sega CD?
Like, strong feeling? I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's cool. But
Yeah,
it's
it is.
not-
I mean,
I like it.
it's got some good music, and
In
I
fact,
remember
that's a game I never played that game until Joe covered it, like in one of his, I don't know if it was a Sega CD episode or whatever, but I saw it on his show, and that's what got me to try it. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
It is. And the music is very good, but playing it now, I feel that the music is a little bit too, I don't know, it's like too happy sounding on some levels. That it doesn't really fit the mood at all.
Yeah, I don't like that when games have music like that like either the music is a downer even though the game's not, or the game is like a downer but then the music's not.
Yeah.
It's like you shouldn't notice it, that if music sticks out in that way, like, that's not good.
I mean, it's good on its own, but
Yeah.
it felt like it should have been in a different game. I always like the like the skulls and stuff in the foreground.
Yeah, I remember I saw Terminator 2 in the movie theater,
Mhm.
and then I remember I came home. And I'm not like a good artist or anything, but I came home and I think my dad had bought me like a sketch pad or something, and like I drew out this whole like really cool like scene with, how like in Terminator 2 they would show like the flash forwards,
Oh yeah.
and there would be like the Terminators in combat, but then they didn't have like skin or anything.
Mhm.
like they were just their like skeleton or whatever. Like I drew one of those, and then like I had a like the whole ground was made out of skulls. I wish that's one of those things like I wish I still had it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, have I ever really talked to you about the Terminator movies?
Um,
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time.
that's I mean that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's I love that movie.
I used to come home every day after school and watch it from the time that they break in the Cyberdyne system to the end of the movie. Like every day. I'd come home.
Wait, why only that?
Because that's like when the movie gets like really kicks into gear, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like a
I have it
continuous
on
action
Laserdisc.
sequence from that point on. But I mean, I love it. I love it. I like the first one a lot too, but I've probably seen Terminator 2 more than any other movie.
Have you seen like the newer ones?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I haven't seen any of them.
You haven't seen any of them?
Like not the I've seen 1 and 2 and that's it.
Oh, then I wouldn't bother with anything. Just
All right.
like let it go from that point on. I mean,
Yeah.
if I could unsee them, I
Yeah.
probably would.
Wow.
But I mean, it's
You should tell somebody you know that. Like sometimes I just wish I could like unmeet you. Like
well,
no
I mean,
offense, but
it's just for me the very idea of them, and I hated that. Really, in a lot of ways, the ending to the first or the second one like felt very definitive.
yeah.
I mean, there was an extended ending that really went further to make it more definitive, but I feel like it really went out of its way to make it like to say like this is it.
Yeah, like I don't want to waste too much of the time of the folks at home there, but yeah, I figure like I thought the whole point of the end of Terminator 2 was to stop any of that from happening.
Yeah.
So that seems like a good stopping point.
It is.
But, I mean, you could say the same thing about Return of the Jedi. Like that should have been sort of like the end.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, especially now. But I mean, I don't know. Like I if I could unsee Star Wars like anything after, except for Mandalorian is really good. But if I could unsee anything like after Return of the Jedi, I would.
I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the prequels either?
Oh no, I saw all the prequels in the movie theater, but all of like the sequels, like what is that, like 7 and 8 and 9 and whatever all that stuff was, and Skywalker Rises and any of that stuff, I haven't seen any of it.
Well, as
although people, someone just said
as BBA
I keep
is
hearing
saying
that Rogue One is good. I kind of want to watch Rogue One.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's like the ending action sequence. I mean, it's definitely better than any of the other movies that have come out.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like even the prequels, like I saw them one time, and then I tried watching them on video, and I never watched all the way through. But it's weird because, you know, all the original 3, I can just like watch them over and over and over and over again. I just never get sick of them. Even, I mean, a lot of people like go after the Ewoks and stuff like that, but I mean, I was like the age.
I love the Ewoks.
What?
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I was 5 years old when Return of the Jedi came out.
You probably wanted your own Ewok.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
who didn't?
And you know, I one of my earliest memories is like being 5 years old and going to see Return of the Jedi, and then the movie theater being so packed I had to sit on the floor in the aisle. It was opening night.
That's a fire hazard.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't like mind the Ewoks at all. You know?
You ever hear that Mitch Hedberg joke?
No.
About like, you know, he was like standing in front of a fire. You know what I'm talking about, right? Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah.
Like he was like standing in front of a fire exit in a theater, and somebody came up to him and said, "Hey, you're standing in front of a fire exit. You got to move." As if there was a fire, I'd still be standing here. I miss that guy.
All right, well, we'll move on. Oh, we got Splatterhouse 3. You know, I didn't play this until recently. And you have a good story about this, don't you? about Splatterhouse
Oh
3.
yeah, yeah. You mean how I got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the last, because I don't go to thrift stores anymore. I mean, obviously, I guess these days I don't go, but I'm saying I haven't really been a regular thrifter in a long time. But like I went into a thrift store, like probably by now, like 7 or 8 years ago. But it was already after, like, you can't find anything in the thrift stores really
Yeah.
anymore. At least the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I guess if you want like PS2 games or something, it'd be all right. But like I went and like did my little cursory inspection or whatever of the thrift store, and I'm like, they don't have anything. And then on the way out, I'm like, I just want to go look at that media shelf like one more time. And I went over there, and like the first time I had missed that there was a boxed copy of Splatterhouse 3. Doesn't have the manual though; it's just the box and the cartridge.
Still.
But it was 50 cents. Pretty good.
And it's like
But
$100 game now, isn't it? It's like more than 100.
Like I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. But
Yeah.
like I sometimes I look on eBay, because considering that I got the game for 50 cents, like I'd be willing to pay a pretty decent amount of money for the manual, just to make my copy. Like even if I had to pay like $30 for the manual, that means I got a complete copy of Splatterhouse 3 for $30.50, right? So
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good deal. And the game itself is, I mean, how much have you played it?
I mean, I've spent a decent amount of time with it. I mean, I like that it has the branching paths. I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, there's
it's
not
still
very
Splatterhouse, so.
like as a beat 'em up,
Yeah.
There's very like few moves to do in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different from 1 and 2 because you can move into the background. It's more of a brawler than the other ones were.
Yeah. But it's not a very deep game.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of, it is what it is, and either you like it or you don't. But
right.
It doesn't have the depth of like Streets of Rage or Final Fight kind of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played it for the first time recently. I mean, I played 2. I rented 2 growing up. I remember renting 2, and I was really jealous of a friend who had a stereo receiver and hooked his game systems up to his stereo receiver.
Oh man.
And I didn't have anything close to that, and I like realized that my boombox had RCA inputs on it, so I ran like the audio into my boombox.
Yeah.
And it sounded terrible. I was like, it's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad. Oh. Man.
That's a game
Namco was on fire with the number 3s, huh?
Is that good? I haven't played Rolling Thunder 3. Is it good?
I haven't really played it either. I mean, I love the second one. And the first one's good. But the second one has a 2-player co-op, which really takes it to a whole new level, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't really played this one though.
Neither.
Looks like it has some a jet ski level. It looks like something out of
Got some
Shinobi 3.
Y heads there at the bottom too.
Yep. Is that how it's pronounced? Moai? Is it? I mean, that's how I always said. Like,
you know what?
It's like the Easter Island heads, right?
It must be Y heads. I mentioned them in one of my videos, and I didn't get raked over the coals for the way I said it, so it must be okay.
Was it in reference to Gradius though, or Gradius?
Well, that's the problem. That's probably what it was. That was when I called Gradius, and so it was like people were so offended by that they didn't even think about the way I said Moai head.
I wonder why they are such a part of Gradius. Like, is it just like they're a striking looking thing?
It seems like a pretty random thing to put in there.
Yeah, and a space shooter of all things.
Oh, maybe the guys that made Gradius were just like really big fans of Night at the Museum.
Oh, are they? Is it in that? Are they in that? I mean,
have you not seen Night at the Museum?
That's the Ben Stiller movies, right?
Yeah, they have.
I mean, my kids love it. I've never really sat and watched them.
You have to give him gum. Hey, you got any gum? Calls him dum dum. Hey, dum dum, got any gum?
I mean, I have them on digital because my kids like them, but I haven't really watched them. I mean, my daughter was Amelia Earhart one year.
Is a legitimately good movie. I haven't seen, or I think I saw the second one, but I don't remember it really. But the first one's really good.
My daughter was Amelia Earhart for Halloween one year because of those movies.
You were?
No, my daughter.
Oh, okay. Oh, just to answer someone in the chat, like, I say Fazanadu just because like I learned that it was Fazanadu, but growing up we all said Faxanadu.
Yeah.
So like I don't begrudge
Yeah.
anybody that pronounces it. Like
Yep.
I don't care how people pronounce anything, but um like I think people have said Faxanadu long enough that you have to consider it like a legitimate
Yeah.
alternate pronunciation.
It's you are not wrong. It's funny because I think that Trident trusts me to say it right. I
Really?
mentioned it in the NT Mini Noir video, and in the script he like put in parentheses. He said "fa-zan-do"
Fazanadu.
because he wanted me to. He wanted to make sure I said it right.
That's my try impression, by the way.
Oh, do it again.
Fazanadu.
But that's what he said. He wrote that in there.
Well,
It might even be in the subtitles for the episode. I don't remember removing it. Over here we have James Bond: The Duel, a game that I've never played it.
Is it Genesis or what is it?
Yeah, it's a Tengen game. It looks kind of good, honestly. I mean, it kind of looks like a Delphine Software kind of game with like Flashback or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to check that out. It looks kind of good. And it looks almost like something like Elevator Action Returns in a way.
I love that game.
Yeah. Huh. If anybody in the chat has played it, let me know if it's any good.
Are you even drinking your whiskey, man?
I have been, yeah. Can you tell?
What is it? By the way, you didn't.
It's something my wife got. It's like I specifically read the name of it upstairs.
All right.
And I was like, I better remember this for the stream, and I cannot tell you what it is.
It's no big deal. I just thought maybe it was like, a major brand, like Bullet or
it's not a
Jack
major
Daniels
brand. It was like it's cheap. It's cheap because I drink it so infrequently, which I guess is you would think if I drink it infrequently, I would get something more expensive. But not this
Yeah.
time.
Well, but then if you bought something expensive, you'd really like it.
Yeah.
And then you'd be drinking it frequently instead of infrequently. You ever mess around with like Japanese whiskey? No. I just noticed like now you go to like Costco and they'll have like all these Japanese whiskeys too.
That's like their new thing.
Did I tell you
I just got a Costco membership, I think, during the summer.
Oh, nice.
We've only been, I think, 3 times. We had to make a rule that we'd only go when we absolutely had to, because every time we'd go, we'd put like $500 on our credit card.
Well, that's normal.
But then I started
Costco's
thinking,
like
you spend all this money because like this large portions.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is worth it. But I feel like if you actually bought that much at a regular store, it would probably equal out to be the same thing. It just seems like it's so much cheaper because you see it all at once.
Yeah. Like I always joke that Costco is like, you have like the dollar store, and like Costco is like the $10 store. I feel like everything at Costco is like $10.
Yeah, we got Sean Quinn in the chat. He's like, I never get out of there without spending $100.
Yeah, no, you have to. Yeah.
And every time I go there, I'm like, we need to get a new TV for the living room, because our living room TV, we got it like right after my wife and I got married, so that would have been 2008.
Yeah.
So starting to show his age. I'm like, we should get a new one. And that one's like 48-inch. I'm like, if we're gonna get a new one, we're gonna get something like
60 or 70.
like a 60,
right?
yeah, 60 or 70. And it's like the idea of having a TV that big.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it on the wall. And it would probably weigh a significantly less than the TV that we have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how big my TV is because my neighbor gave it to me, but it seems big to me. I don't know, anyway, just quickly, I don't remember if I ever told you. Did I ever tell you? So I used to have this like older Japanese couple that lived across the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably like in their 60s, I would say. And they would just go for walks in the neighborhood. And so we kind of got to know them a little bit, and we just chatted up with them a little bit. And like they invited us over to their house for dinner one night. So like we go over there and they made like, it was like all this homemade Japanese food. Like they were literally just here visiting for a year from Japan. Like they weren't Japanese American. Like they were Japanese people that were just like hanging out in America for a while, you know?
For a
So like
year.
I went over there and they made like tempura, like fresh tempura and like yakitori sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I went over there and just got like completely wasted because like the husband was just like a professional drinker, you know?
Yeah.
And like he would bring me a new beer like every like 2 minutes. And if my old beer wasn't empty yet, it was like I was insulting his like hospitality. Like why do you still have that beer, you know?
Yeah.
And like anyway, for some reason I was telling them about Costco and they'd never been to Costco. And so we took them there. First of all, they spent like $600 or $700 at Costco. And this is like an older couple with no kids. They just spent it on themselves. But we go over there and like they went over to the liquor aisle and they bought like I assume you've seen the bottles of Jack Daniels they have at Costco. Like I mean they're like 2-liter bottles at least.
Yeah.
They're huge. And they put like, I'm not making this up. They put like 4 or 5 of them in their cart. And I was like, "Oh, are you buying like Jack Daniels to like send home to your relatives?" And he's like, "No."
This is I just want to drink this.
Yeah, but then like when they moved out, like when their year was up,
They
they were
couldn't take it
moving
with
back to
them.
Japan. So like they had all this stuff that they needed to get rid of. And so like they're like freaking out and like giving us all this stuff. Like here's like soy sauce and like a huge bag of chopsticks and like here's a bottle of sake and like
And
some
a
kitchen
TV.
utensils because they didn't know what to do with it. But all that Jack Daniels was gone.
You're probably secretly hoping for that. Were they the one that gave you the TV?
No, different neighbors.
Oh, okay.
I'm
But
very popular in my neighborhood, you know.
are you? Well, I
Maybe,
mean,
I don't know. I was making a joke, but I mean, I got people giving me chopsticks and TVs, so I mean, I'm doing all right.
yeah. Just got to hope that somebody might have some old games that they'll discover. I mean, do you
Yeah,
kind of make it a point, like if you meet somebody and you don't really know, you're just like somebody in your neighborhood.
yeah,
Yeah, if you ever have a chance to talk about games, like I don't like to like talk about it, but if it ever comes up,
no,
like hopefully they'd say like, oh, we got a whole bunch of other stuff in the attic
no,
that
but
nobody's
like
touching.
everybody in my neighborhood is like old.
Oh,
Like my next door neighbors that gave me the TV, they're like retired, and like the Japanese couple, they were like retirement age, and like
well, I
maybe that's
will.
a good age because they would have something cool. But
So a few months ago, we went to this garage sale, just like a random garage sale. Uh, I mean, my daughter was like looking for things for her baby dolls, and we like stopped at this one house, and this guy was moving out, and he had all this stuff, and I bought like this huge thing of like Atari games, an Atari system, and like everything's like in great condition, right?
like a 2600, you're saying?
Yeah, and like a whole bunch of games, and anyways, like I was like taught, and a bunch of game magazines, and these are game magazines like I'm gonna send off to one of the people from uh, like the Gaming Alexandria people, and they're gonna scan
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
It's all like Atari computer related stuff,
yeah.
and like analog magazine stuff that's like not it's like way earlier than this. And
But that's cool that you're setting that because a lot of that stuff that hasn't been scanned yet.
right, exactly, and they're all in great shape, and like they're gonna scan them, and they're gonna attribute to the person who I bought them from. He's like an older guy, and all this stuff is just like in great condition.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know how it came up, but I was talking to his daughter who was helping him move out, like sell his stuff so he can move out. I assume like into assisted living or something like that.
Oh,
Anyways, I
okay.
was talking to her. I'm like, and he had a whole bunch of other stuff that he wasn't sure if he was going to get rid of. And I said, like if he ever decides to like wants to think about selling it, here's my number, and have him give me a call, and
Yeah.
we'll see if there's anything that I'd be interested in. Anyways, I got a call from him tonight, and
Wow.
he's like, I have all this stuff, like in boxes in my basement, and my daughter said that you gave her your number in case I wanted to get rid of any of this stuff, and like if you want any of this stuff for real cheap, it is yours because it's just going to go in a dumpster. So he has like
Wow.
all this stuff, like an Atari 800 or Atari 400 computer, like all
That's
this stuff
cool.
like works.
Yeah.
So I need to find a time to go there.
Maybe you can get a Tandy 1000.
I don't think he has anything like that. I wish he did,
Yeah.
but it's all like Atari mainly.
That's what the cool kids have now, is Tandy 1000.
I heard, and they usually find them for real good prices on Craigslist. When you mentioned Craigslist, I forgot. I'm glad that Craigslist is still around because it seems
Yeah.
like services like OfferUp and stuff like that, and Facebook Marketplace really started to probably take a lot of the good stuff away from Craigslist.
Yeah, I mean, probably I would find more stuff if I was plugged into those other things, but I just stick to Craigslist. You got a $2 donation there from Aaron Welsh.
Thank
who
you.
says you have to take a drink every time you turn the page, but at the rate we're turning pages, your drink is going to last for a while.
Exactly. Well, I will take one. I'll do it right now because I got some Fatal Fury over here. Look at this. It means I gotta take a mega shot.
Hey, that's what we should do one time with these videos. Like, you should start taking shots while we're doing a read through of like Drunk History or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I plan on embarrassing myself. I'm such a lightweight these days, so it's like this is gonna be plenty for me, and I will have a headache from it before I go to bed. Probably. Fatal Fury. See, this is the Genesis version. Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of the console versions, like the home console versions of it, were very good. They just felt bad, especially compared to like Street Fighter 2. I mean, almost every Super Nintendo fighting game felt bad next to Street Fighter 2. Oh, and we got Blaster Master 2. I guess I take another shot, huh?
You said that was secretly that was like one of your hidden gem Genesis games you told me one time.
Blaster Master 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of the best games on the system.
You told me you wanted to do like a whole video about the history of Blaster Master 2.
Yeah, interview the developers of it and everything. No, it's terrible. It is really, really bad, and it should have been good. But I don't know why. Like, I think it had a European developer, and
well, there you go. Those European developers.
Well, with their damaging water droplets, I'm pretty sure this game has plenty of damaging water drops in it.
Hey, Death Metal Jim in the chat brings up Fangoria. Did you ever watch Fangoria, or not watch? Read Fangoria the magazine?
I didn't really read it, but I do remember seeing it. I remember seeing it pretty often, and I do know the name Fangoria. I wonder, when did they stop making that magazine?
I don't know. Ask him.
Death Metal Jim. That's a pretty great name.
Death Metal Jim definitely sounds like somebody who probably had a subscription to Fangoria for many years.
I'd much rather read Fangoria for several hours than play Blaster Master 2. It's just like such a disappointment after the first one, because the original is so good.
Yeah.
And like even the Sophia tank looks terrible. All right. Now we got the Flintstones on the Genesis. Man, eStorm is like doing every single review.
Yeah. That game's actually not that bad. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. Why was I thinking? I was reading through an old game magazine. Like, one time I did a read through, and they were talking, like, the magazine had some Fester's Quest coverage in it. And I remember I mentioned even in the video, I was like, why did they make that game? Because that was like a couple of years before the new Addams Family movie came out. So it wasn't like a tie-in. It was just like, here's a game about the Addams Family, like, have fun.
Yeah,
but
and like not even like a main character in the Addams Family.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I didn't know I had no idea that Fester's Quest was based on a character from the Addams Family until the Addams Family movie came out, like in 1991 or whatever.
Well, all right. Well, I guess you didn't watch a lot of Addams Family, but so then, like, the other day, or maybe it was yesterday, I was reading. I just got all those video games and computer entertainment issues,
Hmm.
and I was reading through there, and there was a review of a Gilligan's Island game for the NES, and then now I see here are the Flintstones. But you know what it was making me think about though is I feel like in the 80s and up into the early 90s, those were actually popular shows to show in syndication,
Yeah. I mean, that's when I
and
saw
so
them.
maybe that kind of makes sense. I mean, some of those shows kind of had like sort of a second life as like, just shows that were shown in like syndication, like, on
Yeah.
random weekends or maybe like during like weekdays when there was no programming to put on. So,
Well, exactly. I mean, that's when I remember seeing stuff like the Flintstones because you would never see them in the morning when you got up to go to school. But if you stayed home sick, you would see them
yeah.
maybe around like 8:30 or so when you were
Yeah,
already in
and somebody
school.
mentions in the chat there was also a Three Stooges game. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
same thing.
Was there a Little Rascals? Little Rascals game? Was there? I don't know if there was one because that's another one I remember seeing all the time. The Little Rascals. I don't
Or
know.
yeah, and then somebody else in the chat mentions Nick at Night, because
Hmm.
Nick at Night would show a lot of stuff like that too. I used to watch Mr. Ed on Nick at Night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The talking horse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, you
That's the
seem
horse is a
confused.
horse, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that I'm not sure whoever's
You glitch.
name has the Japanese characters. I think they're Japanese characters saying "I love Lucy." NES is one of my favorites. You know that Lucille Ball, from I Love Lucy, is from the town that I grew up in.
I didn't know that.
That's like their big claim to fame at this point. Uh,
Well, keep doing what you're doing, and soon you're going to be there.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh,
You could totally make a game based on if you thought about it, like you could make a game based on I Love Lucy.
sure, especially now.
Like the Chocolate Factory episode, like that would be a level, for instance. Anyway,
Yeah, I see Brian North is saying Jamestown. Yep, that's where I grew up. Is Jamestown, New York. Uh, X-Men for the Genesis. I'm not a fan. How about yourself?
same.
I mean, it's like terrible music in this game. It's like
I
not
never got into
even.
the X-Men though, because I wasn't really into comic books, so that's not the kind of game where I would have been excited about it.
I mean, I wonder if this was this must have been like shortly after the X-Men kind of had this big revival when they like the new X-Men #1 came out.
Yeah, because
Was it like Jim
that's
Lee
when I
was
was a
doing it?
freshman in high school, and that was 91, 92.
Yeah. That
So
was like the only time. I mean, that was the time where I kind of got back into buying comics. Is right
yeah,
around like 91, 92, 93.
yeah,
Right around the time the Image comics first showed up. Like
yeah.
with Spawn
Well,
and everything.
I have a bunch of those X-Men comics that you're talking about, but like I would buy them just because like kids at school were buying them. So
Yeah.
like I would go to the comic book store and I'd buy it and have them put it in a bag with the backer board, but I wouldn't actually read them
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was only buying them because I was like trying to be cool.
Yeah. And every single issue had like a special cover on it,
Yep.
like a lenticular cover or a
Yep.
holographic
Yeah. Wasn't
cover,
there like 4 different issue #1s, I think, of that magazine, that
something like
comic book?
that. But I mean, there was just so many. They were like raising the price and showing like selling these different cover variants, and I mean, I guess that's caused a big crash in the comic book
Yeah.
industry because there's all these gimmick covers and stuff.
Hey, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but Vinny in the chat wants to know, do you have any classic prog rock on vinyl?
I mean, I probably do. Like you can kind of see. All the records that I have is like right behind me. I can't really see. It's like in that little
Yeah.
entertainment center right there. I had a friend who sent me like got rid of all of his records and sent me like 5 giant media mail boxes of records
Yeah.
several years ago, and I mean I can't even tell you what was in there. It was all like
Yeah.
pretty good stuff, and I mean all the stuff is in there.
I think I have like every single Alan Parsons Project album on vinyl. So I mean that's prog rock, right? But I think I
Yeah,
have like
but
one.
I
I have
mean
at least one Yes
it's like
album,
Rush is prog rock. I mean I'm pretty sure I
isn't it?
have.
I think I would
I
call
mean
it
I don't know.
prog rock. Oh yeah, Death Metal Jim has some Yes on vinyl too. Yeah, Yes is good stuff.
I'm pretty sure that I have some of that in there. All right. Oh, here's your game right
There
here.
it is. Wasted potential.
Yeah. You know what, though? It's probably better than Black Hole Assault, which, I mean, different developers and everything, but I'd rather play this than Black Hole Assault. Wasted potential. Let us skip right over there. Of that.
Yeah.
I got Outrun 2019. I liked it because they had the roads that went up in the air. That was one of my favorite things about F-Zero, is that you were supposedly on this racetrack that was floating miles above a giant city.
Yeah.
And this, I guess, so I'm doing something similar. But I mean, I don't know. I just know the music. I have this too because it's one of the black grid boxes. But no, I think the first time I played it was on the Sega Channel.
Oh, really? You had the Sega Channel?
Yeah. I mean, for like 4 months probably. I was probably the only person in my entire town that had it.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody that had it.
And here's Hit the Ice. Hit the Ice, it looks pretty good. I assume.
Yeah, I mean, it was popular in the arcades.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
it looks very like NBA Jam
or something.
like hockey NBA Jam-ish.
Yeah.
Speaking of NBA Jam, have you had a chance to watch that insert coin documentary?
No.
The Midway documentary? I wonder if anybody in the chat has seen it. I watched it last week. It's pretty good, but I feel like they should have just made a mini series out of it. There's so much in there that it really give them a lot of time to get into anything too in depth.
Yeah.
And they could have easily made like a 5-part mini series out of it.
I mean, because easily NBA Jam could be its own pretty long episode.
Yeah.
Of something like that.
I mean, they moved through everything pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but I wish that they had just, like made it 5 times longer. Oh, Elemental Master. Every single review on the Genesis game is by eStorm, which was Dave Halverson, the mullet himself, right?
Yeah, that's a good game, dude. Elemental Master.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I figured it was a renovation game. A lot of renovation games kind of have a similar look, like that, like the is that Wolf Team that did it, or Telenet?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Yeah, Telenet Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It was Renovation was like the American arm of Telenet Japan.
Right.
But they would publish a lot of Wolf Team games.
I see. But I mean, they all have a very similar look. Like it uses the same ground look as like Granada or something like that.
That's also a good game, although a lot of people don't like that game, and I don't get it. I think Granada is a really good game.
I think it's just because it does not look good. It just like seems like everything's too small and just like kind of has a dirty look to it.
Yeah, but that's the Genesis, man.
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that I wrote it off based on screenshots I saw in magazines. I didn't play it until years later. Had really cool cover art. That's it.
Yeah. Although it's funny because of the way the cover art is, the logo, because it says Granada
with the X,
and then it has like that thing that goes around it that looks like 2 X's on the end. Like I've seen people call the game like Granada X or X Granada X, and that's just the frame that they're putting the Granada word around.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I remember thinking that too. Thinking like, man, it looks like is this a sequel to it?
It's Granada 10.
What's that?
It's Granada 10.
What happened to 1 through 9?
You just skip over them.
Time Gal is it's okay. I mean, I did a video on this like years and years ago. where I
Why?
covered like all 4 of the FMV games from Wolf Team.
Oh, all right.
And out of all of them, I think this is the one that looks the best because it's almost like they drew over all of the original frames of animation, so it just has a
Yeah.
very crisp look where it just looks like it's like more of a sequence of still frames versus like video.
Yeah.
But it's
So you don't get all that weird compression stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is super super tough. John Perry G's asking what I'll do with my TV from 2007. That's actually, I'll bring it down here. This is like,
Don't you have a TV down there?
well, I mean, I want to set up an area for the kids, which is kind of what this is
Why?
right here. Because there's like, I have
Oh,
my,
but you're saying over on that side, like behind you now.
like right over
Not,
here. Right.
yeah.
Or no,
Yeah.
see, that's the TV. That's where I would put the TV. I'd mount it on the wall right there. But
Right.
there's a couch right there that used to belong to like my grandma. And when she passed away, you know, we got the couch and it's like down here,
Yeah.
and I want to turn it into like a, you know, like a basement place for them
Yeah.
to hang out as well. Like, I mean, they can hang
You need
out.
like an area rug down there.
Yeah. I mean, I have like my like whole area back here behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this will be like more for them. Which is kind of crappy, I guess, when you think about it, but oh, Willie Beamish. Willie Beamish. You know, I never finished this game. I think that Pushing Up Roses did a really good video on Willie Beamish, just talking about how weird it is and kind of mean-spirited the entire game is. And this game just had the craziest, longest load times. Like, you'd think that the game was broken every time because the load times were so long. But I mean, I don't know. I had a friend who bought it. I got it when I bought it, like a whole bunch of other Sega CD games, like in the same bundle. But I mean, I would never play the disc of this anymore because of the load times.
Yeah.
And his frog is named Horny. Just in case you wanted to know. And then there's the Ninja Warriors. You know, it's just we did a live stream with John Lenneman on Digital Foundry a few weeks ago, and he played the Sega CD version or the Mega CD version of Ninja Warriors. And I had always kind of thought it didn't look like a very good game. Like, it just, like, visually, this version of it is not very good. But it has like this whole like weird movie about Zuntata on it, which I had no idea was even on there.
Didn't like a sequel to that game just come out on like the PS4? Somebody just sent me a game.
Oh, did they send it to you?
Well, like a viewer sent it to me, not the company. He liked it so much he bought a copy and sent it to me.
It's awesome. It is. You're thinking of like Ninja Warriors, the Ninja Saviors.
Yeah, that's it.
Before last year, not this, in 2019, that was my game of the year.
Oh wow! All right.
It is awesome. It is a very very good game. It's a kind of a remake of the Super Nintendo version, which was Ninja Warriors again.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a sequel to this. It takes that same style of graphics. Did you ever play Wild Guns Reloaded?
No.
Well, you should check that out too. It's the same developer, where they take like these old like Taito games or Natsumi games and update them. Like right now they're doing Pocky and Rocky, I think, like a remake of Pocky and Rocky.
Yeah.
What did John tell me like about how the first level of Ninja Warriors, like the music is called like Daddy Mulk, but it's like a mistranslation that is just kind of stuck around for a long time. It's like it's like something else. I forgot what he said. It was, but he talked to somebody.
So, you know, you were telling me how John told you that Mortal Kombat 3 for the PlayStation was like the first home port that was done in-house, you
Yeah.
know? I remember you told me that and I was like taking notes because I was going to put it in my video, but like I looked it up and it was like Midway bought some little developer and then that was like the first thing they had them do was like, here, make a home conversion of Mortal Kombat 3
Oh, so it's not
for the
it's not as
PlayStation. So
excited
I don't
then.
know like how much
Exciting.
I consider that to really be like an in-house thing.
Well,
So
he was telling me that he heard that Sony gave them a bunch of money to do it themselves. So
yeah,
that must have been what they did with the money. They just bought somebody
yeah,
else to do it.
yeah. Because I forgot I have it in my script. I forgot how much money it is, but it was when Bernie Stoller was still one of the vice presidents at Sony. They paid Midway like several $1,000,000 so that the only version of Mortal Kombat 3 that would be on any 32-bit console was like they were basically just trying to screw the Saturn
Yeah.
and say like we're only going to have because it still ended up coming out on like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo because obviously those are not
Right.
32-bit. But yeah, like Midway got like a really fat check for that game. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if they used it. I don't know if that's the kind of money you could buy a game studio with, but I mean, I don't know how much a game studio was going for in like 1994.
Right. But I mean, then they just turned around and released Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on everything, right? I'm pretty sure there's a
Yeah.
Saturn version of Ultimate.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the Saturn, yeah.
But
I mean, that's a different game, right? Because that was a whole separate arcade release as well.
Yeah. As Aaron Welsh says, it's still technically in-house then.
It technically is, but I'm not going to put that in my video because then I feel like you have to kind of explain that like, well, it was this other company and they bought it and like, so I just left it out.
But still, I've heard that version of MK3 is pretty good. But
I mean, PlayStation version?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's practically arcade perfect.
I mean, that's a big deal. But at the same time, I mean, this is MK3. I think just in general, it sucks.
Wow.
It's just such a disappointment. It goes too far into like the jokey kind of stuff that after 2, because 2 really elevated the first one, and then I felt like we're gonna take this violence and make it more slapsticky in 3. Like it was almost like they ran out of ideas of what to do, so they just like made it more slapstick. Zero Beast is saying, is this a new magazine put out by Video Game History Foundation, or is that part of their old magazine packs that you can buy? This is the old magazine packs that you can buy. You should post that link in there again.
They put out a magazine though. I'd read that.
Yeah. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Oh,
what is that?
This is a net again. This is the sequel to El Viento.
Was it that Annette?
Annette Futabi or something like that. I think it is.
Like something, yeah, whatever.
Annette Futabi or something. I think that's what it is.
Futabi or something.
And it's like it's got both Annette from El Viento and Ernest Evans in the same game.
Wow.
And it's a brawler, and it is not very good. Have you played Ernest Evans?
Only a little bit.
It's such a weird looking game.
Yeah.
Just like the way the characters are put together.
Yeah.
I mean, I can appreciate them trying to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it does not look good. Yeah, it's like, okay, Futabi. See, I knew it was like, something like that. I always show this though when I have to show something from the Sega CD. This is a nice Japanese exclusive game.
You consider that like a showcase game then?
I mean, it's not very good, but it looks good in short clips.
Yeah. Oh, Oscar Gomez says, when are you guys going to do a collab with Scanline City? Is he still putting up videos? Like, I want to know what that guy's deal is, Scanline City. Because, like,
it says
he didn't
camera work
upload
is so
that
good.
many videos, and, like, he doesn't have very many subs, but, like, his video, like, that guy has to work in, like, the industry. Because, like, Like the quality of those videos is like top notch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His intro is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he could just make a video where it's just like his intro, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And it would look better than most videos on YouTube. Oh, we got Devastator. I have no idea what this is. Devastator.
Is that a shooter?
Yeah, I mean it's a
Looks like-
hot new animated cartoon appearing in Japan.
Hmm.
It's another Wolf Team game, man. They were just like cranking them out.
Yeah.
It looks kind of cool though. Makes me think a
We're
little bit of
we're
that.
gonna do these blind read-throughs. Like I should have the Mister set up,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like you can be like, "Hey, what's this?" And I can like boom load it up.
Well,
And then
as we were, I mean, we didn't really say it, but I mean, ideally, what we could do is if these are coming every month, like we could make this like a once a month thing.
well,
like
we have to
each
do
of
twice
us.
a month.
Yeah, twice a month. Like do yours and do mine, and do yours. You know, alternate back and forth like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what this kind of looks like? It looks like a not as
what
graphically
I
impressive
think it
version of
looked
that. What is that? What's that TurboGrafx 16 game? Like the Vigs Tactical Armor or whatever.
Meek's Tactical Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I have that game because like I think one time I bought like a lot of like 4 TurboGrafx games on eBay that I got like a pretty good deal on.
Yeah.
And I got Vieg's Tactical Gladiator, and like I don't like it, but you know, Bithead's always talking up that game. And so it makes me want. I'll go play it again, and I just still don't. I think he's got like the nostalgia glasses on or something.
I mean, that is a game that looks fantastic in screenshots.
Oh, for sure.
But playing it, it's like, oh, you can't even jump. I don't think you can jump. It's just
I thought you could. You had like little thrusters. I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just remember thinking it looked so good in screenshots, and when I played it, I was like, oh, it's not very good. All right, so what do we got over here on the previews? I got Sonic CD.
Somebody in the chat mentioned Android Assault. Is that on there? Is that, I don't know why they're bringing it up. Maybe just because it's cool.
Barry Arm or whatever.
Yeah, the revenge of Barry Arm.
I mean,
was there a previous game in that? Like, is that not the first game in that series? Like, what happened that pissed off Barry Arm that they're getting revenge?
That's a damn good question.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe in Japan that's like part of a series, and I don't know. I mean, I've never had to
maybe
cover
it's
that game.
maybe Devastator is the prequel to it somehow. You know, it's funny.
What games? The only game I see in there, I see Final Fight, but
yeah.
What else is in there?
We got Sylpheed.
It's so small.
I know. Golden Axe 3. You know, how do you feel about Golden Axe 3? A lot of people don't like it, but John Lennon was saying John Lennon thinks it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe he should make a video or something on it, or he can really.
That should be the next DF Retro.
Yeah, he can.
Why you're?
Because a lot of people like the crap on that game.
That's a good clickbaity title.
Yeah, Golden Axe 3 is good actually.
Yeah,
just call it that. We got Night Striker.
3, you are dumb.
What?
People that if you don't like Golden Axe 3, you're dumb. That's the title of the video.
Night Striker. A good game. I should have bought that when I was in Japan. I really liked the arcade version. And have you ever played Night Striker? Are you familiar with it?
No.
It's a Taito game. It's kind of like a Space Harrier where you have a car and you fly through the city and all these tunnels and stuff. And the arcade game had like a Space Harrier style stick, and it's really good music. I have the PS1 version, but there's a Mega CD version that never came out here, and it's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah. See, if I had the Mister hooked up, we'd be checking it out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do that, and then I'll play when you do your read through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think we could totally do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to be on camera, but I'll just send you my feed. I'd just send you the feed.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to switch over, like, okay, no more face camera.
Although I probably could do it using using OBS's new virtual webcam. Why can't I just like build a layout
Yeah.
of like using my webcam and the Mister screen and just send that to you, and you could put that into
That's what I'm saying.
the picture frame.
Yeah.
And over here we have three. Is it 3x3 eyes? 3x3 eyes. I always used to get confused by the name. There's a NES game also.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like three eyes, 3x3 eyes. I don't know. We got a $5 Canadian donation from Donovan Stewart. Thank you. Saying random Q just bought a cheap RCA to HDMI 1080p adapter from Amazon. Now my N64 games are widescreen. They don't look stretched, but are they? They are definitely stretched.
Why didn't you buy a retro tank, Donovan? Is my question. So do that, but they're probably stretched. But you might be able to go into your TV's menu and change the aspect ratio.
Exactly. That's what I encourage you to do.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty crazy.
Or he could just throw his N64 in the garbage and then like play something good instead. But I don't know.
What's actually crazy is coming upon this ad here. Like there's like been barely any ads in this magazine at all. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Which is too bad because I like looking at the ads.
I know. Back in the day though, I'd be like, man, there's an ad on every other page.
Well, sometimes, if you got one of those like Christmas issues of EGM, like that could be, maybe too many ads.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, when I was a kid, I would have thought that's too, but reading it now, like the ads are just as interesting as the content. So,
right. Batman Returns, SNES, very good game.
Yeah.
I love that you can throw guys into the background. I mean, that's just throwing them in the background is really novel, I think. And it's not really done in any other brawler that I can think of.
Yeah. It's very satisfying.
Yes.
Like throwing someone through a window.
Yeah. And then it kind of alternates and he has like the more shooter type levels. Oh, they're not straight up shooter, but they're kind of run and gun-esque.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen this movie in forever though. A lot of people have been talking about it recently. Saying like, oh, it's a Christmas movie. Should watch it around Christmas time. And it is, but I assume you saw it in the theater.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why, too.
You saw the original. You saw Batman '89 in the theater, though, right?
On day one, man.
Yeah. And then you didn't go see Batman Returns in the theater.
Nope.
Did you not like Batman '89?
I didn't see Batman Returns until like years and years later. Like I had no interest whatsoever. Because you know what happened is I was like, I got into Batman. I was kind of being like a little like hipster kid. Like when I got into Batman, there were no Batman movies. There was the Adam West TV show.
Yeah, I mean, same with me.
So like Batman, this was like in the late 80s, like Batman wasn't really that popular, right? It's like, I mean, he was one of the major, comic book heroes. But I'm saying outside of that, there wasn't all this like Batman hype going on.
Right.
And I just kind of decided like, I'm going to be into Batman. And so then I was like, I would go ride my bike to the comic book store and like, I would buy up all these like old issues of Batman from like the 70s and stuff and read them. And I got like super into it. And then when the movie came out, like I said, I went and saw it on day one and I really liked it. But then like all of a sudden, like everybody was into Batman. And so then like for me, it like wasn't, I didn't think it was cool anymore. I was just like, whatever. And everybody's all Batman fanboys. And so after that, I was just kind of like over it,
And so much so that you're just like, I don't even want to see Batman Returns.
I mean, I just needed to pick. I should have picked a new esoteric superhero to follow. Like I should have gotten into like the Green Lantern or something,
Yeah. Well, I didn't think the Batman Returns was very good at the time. but it's been a long, long time since I've seen it. I wonder if I would feel any different. And I mean, I saw Batman '89 like multiple times in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember that is the first movie I remember where it was just a summer movie that was just a complete phenomenon. It was like
Yeah.
everywhere. And I don't know, like I probably saw it like 4 times in the theater over the course of the summer.
Wow.
And the only other movie I would, I mean, I guess after that, like I think it was Dick Tracy came out the year after that.
Was
And
it? It came out in 90?
I think
That might
so.
be right. It might be right. I saw that one in the theater too.
And it was definitely like, I mean, my brother went and saw Dick Tracy multiple times in the theater, and I swear it
Didn't
was
like it.
like he was like chasing the dragon. It was so he
Oh,
wanted it to be as good as Batman and have like that kind of
yeah.
experience and just like go and see it so many times, but Dick Tracy is just not that great. Even watching
I
it
think
now.
I only ever saw it the one. I don't think I've ever seen it again.
I mean, it's cool, but like there's all these crazy looking characters, and then they kill
Yeah.
like most of them like in the first 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I just remember watching that movie and just thinking that like that watch
Yeah,
that Dick Tracy had, like, oh, we'll never have anything like that. Like it's crazy how fast things have advanced, like
yeah. Well, it's like a
like if you
speaker.
could have told my like 12-year-old self that someday like Apple, like I don't have an Apple Watch or I don't have a smartwatch at all, but like if you had told me that was going to be a thing, I would have been so excited.
Yeah,
Like the other day I was playing, I don't know if you saw, I've been like tweeting about playing with this Mr. Cade thing.
yeah, oh yeah.
And so like yesterday or day before I was playing Super Mario Brothers, on the Mr. Cade, and like
Hmm.
if you could just like take a picture of that and like go back in time to like 87 and show that to my 10-year-old self, hey, you're gonna have this, when you're like 40 years from now or whatever. It would have blown my mind.
I've been enjoying your Mr. Cade stuff. I mean, I was telling Pork Chop earlier today from Mr. Add-ons. I was like, man, like seeing all Chris's like photos and videos and stuff of the Mr. Cade is like make me want to get an Astro City like really soon,
Yeah.
because just the idea of, yeah, like when the first thing you post is like, oh, I put NHL '94 on there. Like that is such a good idea. Just like
Yeah.
putting NHL '94 on a like in an arcade machine. Oh,
Yeah.
look, we got there's a
Because
video
that
game.
would have made money. But the cool thing about that is like you can map like the trigger for the coin slot
Mhm.
is like it's a button basically. And so if you go into the Mr. menu, you could like map it so that the insert coin is one of the buttons, and then you could probably set it up somewhere and be like, hey, you want to play NHL 94, 25 cents. Make some money.
I see that the Video Game History Foundation is in the chat right now.
Well, that's
I
exciting.
made them a moderator, and we're enjoying the Game Fan issue or Volume 1, Issue 5. So Chris and I are gonna make this like a monthly thing. He's gonna in a few days or maybe like a week or something. We're gonna read his magazine, and then every month we're gonna like alternate back and forth. So it'll be every 2 weeks probably. I guess it
Yeah.
will be.
It's going to kill me to have to wait that long to open mine, but I'll live.
All right, we got more Batman. We'll skip over the Batman. And we got the Terminator, but I mean, I know the Terminator on the Super NES. I mean, I don't.
But that's based on the original movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Well, I guess
I've
so
definitely
was
never played this
so was
before.
the Sega CD game. But
Chris, you want to post a link to the magazine subscription again if people want to take advantage and sign up for it? There you go.
there you go.
Then there's Wolfchild, a game that I've really never played. I mean, I've certainly never played this version. Maybe I've tried out the Sega CD version.
That's about where I'm at with it. I've tried it out, but I haven't played it extensively.
Yeah. I mean, games about werewolves don't really do anything for me.
No?
No, not really. I mean, Altered Beast is enough for me.
Is Shapeshifter a werewolf game? The
I don't
Turbo
know.
CD?
Shapeshifter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever played that.
All right. Hey, Shadowrun.
Oh, we got Joe from same game, different same name, different game is in here as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring up what he said, but you know,
So, yeah,
I've tried to convince you to do that multiple times. I'm like, come on, man, it could be My Life in Classic Gaming Quarterly. Think about it.
Well, Chris and I just like love going through old magazines. So
yeah,
this was obviously something we were all the way into when we saw that this was something that was you could do. It just like reliving the old days of getting game magazines in the mail.
Yeah.
What magazines were you subscribed to when you were younger?
Me?
Any of them?
I couldn't afford magazine subscriptions when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would like ask as a gift or something like that. I think I only got I was subscribed to EGM for a year maybe.
Yeah. I just used to, my best friend had a subscription to Nintendo Power, so I used to read his, but like I would have had to ask for that for Christmas or something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you ever play Shadowrun on the Super Nintendo?
I have this. I got it. It was given to me.
Yeah.
Matt McCheskey, who does the theme music for our channel, he went to an estate sale and got like a ridiculous amount of Super Nintendo games. He doesn't even like collect games or anything like that. He's just like, oh, it's you know, it seems like something I should buy. And he bought like a huge stack of Super Nintendo games. There's stuff like Chrono Trigger, complete in box, and all this other stuff.
Wow.
And he like gave me like most of them that he didn't, you know, he didn't have any interest in like spending the time to sell. Yeah. And this was one of them. And I have never really played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I mean, I've played the Genesis game, which is a cool game. People, the few opinions I remember reading about are saying that the Genesis game is better, but they're really like they're very, very different games. Like it's not like two different ports of the same game.
Yeah, and there's a Sega CD one or a Mega CD version as well. That's completely different.
And then you got Bob over there on the other side.
Yeah, B.O.B.
That game's not that bad actually. I think I
could see it being
covered
good.
that in a magazine read through, and I was like, I could see the game's charm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that I think I've thought about it recently, thinking that
Maybe
it's probably not that bad. At the time, it probably didn't. I don't remember it looking that good, but now I kind of want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a cool, you know, if you are bored on a Saturday afternoon or something. I don't know if you're ever bored on a Saturday afternoon, but it's the kind of game I never would have played, except, you know, like I said, it was in a magazine I was doing a read through of, and so I played it, and I was like, yeah, this game's actually pretty cool. It's got like the whole intro cutscene or whatever is actually pretty funny to watch. But that's the kind of game I would have rented like when I was in high school.
It's an EA game. It's just weird that for the most part, I think like EA on the Super Nintendo is not something I generally think about as like being a thing at any point.
Yeah.
Because they were such a staple of the Genesis that, I mean, is there any Super Nintendo game that they released that is kind of like a classic now? I don't know. They just
not that I can think of, but I feel like there's got to be something or a couple of somethings. But I mean, I feel like most of the EA Sports games on the Super Nintendo were not that good. Although NHL 94 and NBA Live 95 are both really good. But if you think of like non-sports games, Poster Pack Rat says Populous. Is the Populous any good on the? Like, I feel like
I don't know.
Populous, you want to play that on a computer. You don't want to really play
Yeah.
that on any home console if you can. But
It's Populous is interesting. That I remember buying that when it came out, and I was just like could not understand it, and I was so annoyed with the sound in it. And then I had a friend who borrowed it, and then his mom freaked out because like he was playing a game where he was God.
yeah,
Like, no, I will not let you play this.
did you see what Video Game History Foundation
Yeah,
says
I
there?
looked.
That's
I
pretty
think y'all
impressive.
sold 11 more subscriptions for us. That's amazing. Thing
Wow.
helps us a lot. Thank you all. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we're gonna do
That's the
this
Coury effect.
all the time, do you get worried about running out of magazines? I mean, that would be my
Yeah, I mean that's my worry. It's funny. I've told at least 2 people just that I know, like in the real world, because I was excited about picking this up picking mine up today at the post office, and I'm like telling people about it, and that's like everybody's first question, like, well, what happens when they run out of magazines? And I'm like, I don't know. Then I guess the promotion's over. But
yeah.
I mean, it seems like people are still donating magazines to them and stuff. So I mean, hopefully the supply of doubles is not going to dry up anytime soon.
I mean, I bet there's a lot of people that are just buying one. You know, there's an option just to buy 1 month, right? I'm pretty sure.
Wait, you mean just buy one once instead of doing a subscription?
Yeah, I think that there's an option for
Yeah,
just buying one.
there is. Yeah,
And
because I
that's
think it was saying it's 25% off if you do a subscription instead of just getting
oh
one.
right. All right, moving on. Harley's Humongous Adventures.
I've never heard of that game.
I've never heard of it either. It's definitely like it's a claymation game though. Actually, well, I recognize this character. It's one of those, you know, before Clay Fighter, you know, they have the digitized claymation characters. The characters look cool, but the backgrounds look pretty terrible. I don't know, but who knows? How bad can it be? Honestly, that's what Tryon always say. How bad could it be?
It could be pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
What's that game on the other page? I don't recognize that.
Super widget.
Super Widget.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this either. I don't know. Like it looks okay, but the main character looks annoying.
Those seems like those kind of games are like more popular like in Europe, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Like I was reading
It's an Atlas game though.
what's that?
It's an Atlas game though.
Oh, that's cool. I was just like yesterday I was reading I have a bunch of issues of this magazine called Mega.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a UK based Mega Drive only magazine, you know. And it had like the top 10 list, for like the previous month. And like the number 1 game on their list was Tasmania. Which like here, like would anybody have even really cared that much about Tasmania? It's just
Yeah.
like over there, like these cartoony platform games were so much more popular. In part, I think, because I think video game censorship was a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
Over there. And so I think a lot of these kind of games got kind of shoved down people's throats over there on like home computers and then on the Master System and then on the Mega Drive. Because I'm saying what I'm saying is like back then, you would go to school the next day and be like, oh man, I've been playing Tasmania. And they'd be like, oh man, that's awesome. And like here, if you had gone to school and been like, oh man, I'm really having fun playing this game Tasmania, you would have gotten like an atomic wedgie and then shoved into your locker.
And it's like you think about all those like the Looney Tunes characters, and they were just on everything for a while there. And it was like Taz was on everything. But
yeah.
I just remember when it fell out of popularity among kids, but I still knew a lot of parents. I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there now that still have polo shirts with sewn in Tweety birds or whatever on them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I remember my high school girlfriend's uh, dad had a polo shirt with Tweety bird on it. So if you see what Game History Foundation says, a month ago I would say we're good for a year, but to be honest, we're getting concerned now.
Oh man.
I start soliciting donations to hopefully fill them in.
Well, I
Like,
don't.
just
Yeah,
gonna
maybe as
ride
I
it
start
till we can't.
finding, as I start getting doubles, maybe I should send them to Frank instead of sending them to you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Here we got Gods, Mindscape game. I mean, I don't know. Like I know the look of it, but I've definitely never played it.
It's not originally an Amiga game.
It looks like it would be, yeah. I mean, there's this. It looks good, but it looks like the backgrounds and all the tiles look really busy. Like there's just like a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on, and it looks like an Amiga game.
For no particular reason, I've been like really tempted. My Amiga is just sitting right over there on the shelf. I've been like super tempted to pull it out and set it up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gods, it's like the most Amiga of Amiga games. I've messed around with some of the Amiga stuff with the Mister,
Yeah.
but that game list is just so long that it takes 5 minutes to like scroll through it.
No, that's like the Amiga. Like, there's so many games in the Amiga that's the kind of thing where it's better if you like make a list,
Yeah,
of like some game, like, go do some reading or watch some YouTube videos and like make a list, because otherwise, yeah, that list on the Mr. Core is ridiculous. Because like, I have the Amiga that I have, my friend Todd sent it to me,
Mhm.
and then he gave me one of those GoTech floppy drive emulator things.
Are you talking about Todd from Terra Onion?
Yeah. What other Todd is there?
That's true.
There was the one on Different Strokes, and then there's Todd from Terra Onion. Anyway, when he sent me the Amiga, he sent me a GoTech drive that already has like the USB stick in it.
Yeah.
That he loaded down with games, and it's the exact same thing. It's like you turn it on, and it's like, here's a list of like 3,000 games or something. So, like, when he told me he was saying that to me, like, I just started watching like a bunch of videos and like making lists of all the Amiga games I wanted to check out. But I mean, there's so many cool games. I was just telling somebody in my Discord, because there's a guy in my Discord that, like, he just wants to get like an old computer, but he's not sure what, like maybe an Apple II, maybe like a Tanny 1000, but maybe he doesn't have a lot of room, so he's looking for just like one. And I was trying to tell him, like, if you're only going to have one old computer, like, get an Amiga, dude, because like there's enough games on the Amiga that you could have that be like your only video game system, and I think for the rest of your life you wouldn't run out of stuff to play.
And the only downfall is that like most of these games are made with a controller in mind that has like one button or something like that, or two buttons.
Yeah, I think the Amiga is actually capable of a 2-button controller, but
And then most of these games all have up to jump, which is like one of the things I hate the most.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you what I did to solve that problem?
On the Mister, do you assign it to a button?
Well, I don't use the Mister. I use my Amiga, but well, yeah, on the Mister, then yeah, you can just assign jump to a button. But I have a Neo Geo CD pad, the Neo Geo CD controller.
Yeah.
That's like the controller I use on my Amiga, and then I like because I had to make a controller adapter for it, and so I made it so that, because the Neo Geo controller has 4 buttons. And so I took one of the buttons that wasn't going to be used otherwise and like tied it into the up. So you can still push up on the D-pad, but you can also use this button for up. So now I have a jump button for games like Turrican.
That's nice. That's a good way to do it. That's really creative.
Yeah. Well, that was like the main reason I wanted an Amiga originally, is I just wanted to play Turrican on the Amiga.
Yeah.
But there's no way I was doing the whole up to jump thing. So, but I think
Uh,
that's, if I remember correctly, I think that's the way the Genesis game is. I think on the Genesis you can still push up to jump if you want to, but they also have jump assigned to one of the buttons on the controller.
mhm.
So,
Are you have any interest in the Turrican collection that's coming out?
oh yeah, I got it pre-ordered,
Nice.
but I only aren't there. There's 2 discs, right? Or there's two releases
Yeah, I'm not sure how if it's
because they
changed at
didn't
all
put.
since then, because I think there's a lot of people that were annoyed at the fact that it was getting split up like that. But I'm not sure if it's
Yeah,
changed or if it's. I
I
know that
only.
that is as uh, they have assigned jump to a button on the old
Oh,
games for
good,
that.
good. But yeah, I pre-ordered one of them, but I pre-ordered the one that had the games that I was more interested in playing.
Hmm.
So
I wasn't aware. Did you know that like apparently Mega Turrican on the Genesis was like
is awesome.
it is awesome, but it was originally going to be a Konami game. It was going to be published by Konami, and then they passed over it,
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
which
But
is
yeah,
crazy to think about. So this came.
Mega Turrican was written specifically for the Genesis, and then got ported back to the Amiga.
So this King Arthur's World is a game that I have. I got in that same bundle I got Shadowrun with. And I
From
never
your
really
friend.
played it, but it uses the Super NES mouse.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't have
I
one of
don't even
those.
really know like what games work with the Super Nintendo mouse besides Mario Paint,
I
and
wonder
maybe
if
like an
I wonder
Arkanoid game.
if, is there a Super Nintendo? There's a Super Nintendo version of Lemmings, but that's probably before the mouse came out.
Maybe.
I've never owned a version of Lemmings.
No?
I always just remember playing it in the computer lab in school.
Yeah. I have Lemmings 3D for the PlayStation.
Oh, is that going to be in your upcoming video? It's a
I think
long box
so.
game, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have no idea what this is. Kitaro's Adventure? Okay, so this is a Japanese game, obviously. Japanese exclusive game.
Looks kind of cool though.
It does look kind of cool. It looks almost like Mystical Ninja-esque. Goemon-esque. I think we definitely need to do that, though, with the
What?
Mister. Although, if you get some of the later issues, we won't be able to do that. Like later time period. Although I could, with
Well,
my
that's
setup and
true, but
everything.
I'm saying we can at least have it ready to go, and then we'll just see what magazine I
But
get.
I might have stuff on hand anyway, so if it's newer stuff.
Yeah.
So did this game get a U.S. release?
What is it?
Is it like
Can't read it.
Musya, Musya, Musya?
I don't know.
I mean, I've never seen it in a store, but as far as I know, it did get a U.S. release. I've just never seen it in person. The guy has like this like bow staff with a blade, or what is it called? It's like a partisan. It's like not like a part. Is it a partisan? It's like a spear type thing.
I don't know. To me, that's something you use for trimming the branches on your tree.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Chainsaw.
Good vibe collecting this thing. Yeah, I got a U.S. release. I just never seen it in person, but I have played it on the SCS NES. And we got Kendo Rage over here, which is not something that I'm pretty sure. I don't think this got a U.S. release, but the name sounds like it did. But when I look at it, it looks almost like a Valis game. When I think about just writing like a little blurb like this, like they have to do for these Halberd, that's what I was thinking about. When I think about just like writing a little blurb, like this has just got to be so easy just to write a paragraph about a game.
What?
Just like this, like, oh, are you looking for something different? Well, if so, have we got a game for you?
You know,
Yeah.
it could be anything. It's like a template. Kendo Rage is definitely unique for a side-scrolling action title.
But like, do you think they even had a copy of that game to play, or do you think that was like we went to the Tokyo Game Show and like saw it and were able to take some screenshots? Because if that's the
I
case, how
think they
much can you
had
really
all
say?
this stuff. I'm pretty sure that they had all this stuff because I mean, Die Hard was a import game store before, right?
Well, it was a game store that also sold imports. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they probably just imported everything.
But do you think that was out yet?
Oh, yeah. I bet it was. I mean, it looks like they played 3 levels of it. That was it. There is an American version of this of Kendo Rage in the works, and hey, with a few cosmetic changes, this game could turn out to be a worthy SNES title. We'll keep you posted. So there was a US version of this, but I guess they just reskinned it. I don't know what this is. New Gear? Sounds like okay.
It's like the French spelling for a noogie, like when someone
Yeah.
gives you like the
And it's a
It
wolf
looks kind of
team.
cool though. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it looks like it looks almost like Ys-esque.
yeah. I was thinking about playing through Ys book 1 and 2 like on a multi-part
Oh,
live
you
stream
should totally do that.
because people really like, people that enjoyed my live streams when I did them seem to think that the pinnacle of my live streams was when I beat Zelda 2.
Yeah.
That,
I mean,
that
I
took
told you
4
that, right?
live streams. And so I was thinking I could do that because I've never beaten Ys book 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, like I've played quite a bit of it, but I've never beaten it. Like, well, I had never beaten Zelda 2 before I did it in the live stream. So I mean, that'd be kind of cool,
Yeah, I mean the first Ys is really, really short.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd beat that in 2 streams easily.
Yeah.
The second one is quite a bit more involved. All right.
By which you mean Ys book 2 or are
yeah,
you talking about
Ys book 2.
Okay.
What is it? Ys Ancient Ys Vanished, book 2, The Final Battle. I think that's like the full title of it.
What's that?
Because Exhaust Heat 2.
Dude, that looks sweet. That looks like
It
a,
does.
F-Zero ripoff.
It's like F-Zero with like pseudo F1 cars. F1 I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it looks kind of good, but also looks like kind of crappy. You can drive F1 cars though over here.
What's it? It's called Exhaust Heat?
Exhaust Heat 2.
All right.
It's the second one.
I don't ever have a pad at my desk.
What is the guy saying at the top? Saying the parts you ordered are done. Do you want to start another project? I can zoom in on him here. Yes. He looks kind of crazy. That's it. Ancient Ys Vanished, the final chapter. Okay, so there's no book 2 in there. Oh, zoomed out too far.
Oh, I think we now they got 2 more subscribers. We're gonna run out of magazines, man.
We're gonna run out of magazines. Yeah. the entire stash is only gonna last for 3 months now. But I mean, it's fine. It's not like you pay up front for like a year or anything like that. They just charge you every month.
I'll be sad when it ends. That's all.
Yeah. Because this is likely the only time.
I got yet. Maybe I'll get something really bad and then I'll be angry and then I won't.
But I mean, this is likely the last time that we'll get like game magazine subscriptions in our life, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of sad. It does have laser Laser blasters. I guess that must be the names of the cars.
I think it
The
might be a
Blackstone,
cool game, dude.
Metal
might be a hit
Rabbit, Mad Point. Oh, I'm gonna drive the Wild Bear. Oh, there's Taz right there.
Yep.
It's the Tasmania for the Super Nintendo. What about I mean, there's Tasmania on the Genesis, but what about what was the Super Nintendo Roadrunner game? Death Valley Rally. Was that it?
Sounds
And
right.
I remember EGM gave that the game of the month, and then we rented it, and it was terrible. Oh, you can still, yeah, that's right. You still can order new video game magazines about old games, like Old School Gamer magazine in the US. Yeah, and like Retro Gamer. But I mean, I'm not like a subscriber, although I guess I could.
I mean, I buy Retro Gamer every month from my local newsstand, but
Oh, you can get it at your newsstand.
what's that?
You can get it from your newsstand. Yeah, I always had to go to Barnes and
Yeah.
Noble to get it.
Why don't I live in a small town, man? We don't have a Barnes and Noble.
Right, but I mean, it's like I never knew that other places
Just-
other than Barnes and
We
Noble
have
would
like
sell
one
it.
of those like shops where you can go in there and they sell like newspapers and magazines and soda and then like cigarettes
Right.
and candy, you know? So but
Mm-hmm. I remember
they have
buying-
a thing where like you can like have a subscription where they put your name on a list, and then like I subscribe in air quotes to Retro Gamer and PC Gamer from
Right.
this store, and anytime a new issue comes in, they call me and I go get it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because like I don't want to subscribe to Retro Gamer because I don't want the magazines getting all messed up in the mail.
Yeah.
Like PC Gamer, I don't care about, but I just kind of do it to support the store because I just like that store and it's an excuse to go in there. And it's like 2 doors down from the post office,
Mm-hmm.
so like I'm already going over there to get my mail anyways.
You know, when you talk about going to like a store like that,
Yeah.
I have this memory of going to a like kind of a news store in where I grew up in Jamestown, New York. And I remember going in there and
That's where
buying
Lucille Ball grew up too.
exactly. Even you know that 10,000 Maniacs and Natalie Merchant are from there too. Anyways, I remember going. There's this newsstand. It's called the Humidor, and I remember going in there and buying an issue of EGM. I think it was the issue of EGM that had it had Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2 on the cover. So it had
Yeah.
Fabio on the cover.
Yeah.
And
Be honest, that's why you bought it.
I think it was the second issue of the magazine that I got. And I remember buying the issue of the magazine and paying the guys, like this old like guy who was working there, and he was just like really, really mean to me when I bought the magazine.
Yeah.
I have no idea like why he was mean to me. Because not like I was causing a problem. I was just probably really excited about getting this magazine. I went in there. My mom was probably in the next place over or something like that. And
Yeah.
he was just like really mean to me. And I told my mom that he was really mean to me, and she went in there and like yelled at this guy afterwards. I never went back in there. And then it closed down. Whoa!
Wow, look at that.
Jeez. Scott Reisig. I apologize if I'm messing up your last name. Scott Reisig with 99.99. Jeez, thank you. Saying Happy New Year to MLiG and CGQ. Thank you. Thank you.
Very generous.
That's very, very generous. Generous. As you can see, I've had too much whiskey, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, sorry, Scott. Corey's been drinking.
Not something I do very much on stream
I
these
was
days.
disappointed, but you know, it's his show. I'm drinking LaCroix because I have respect for the people who are spending their evening watching us.
Are you really drinking LaCroix?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I finished I drank a beer. I finished it.
Oh,
Sorry.
my life in whiskey. I used to drink more whiskey on the streams like several years ago, and then it started giving me really bad heartburn in the middle of the night, so I stopped.
Wow, I didn't know you could.
You know what's
Never heard of
interesting?
getting heartburn from whiskey.
Oh yeah, I mean it gave me like heartburn and like acid reflux in the middle of the night. Not
Wow.
fun.
Is that still the same game on the left there?
Yes.
Exhaust Heat 2? So it really is an F1 game, like unlicensed probably, but
Yeah, I mean that's
wow. Now I really want to play it.
it's weird that they have like such a big spread on this game. Because it looks like F-Zero but with F1 cars.
Yeah. I'm gonna check. I wrote it down. I'm gonna check it out.
But I mean, maybe it's just like really easy to take screenshots of. So they decided to just go with it. But over here in the previews, they're talking about the CES. So I mean, if this is
A Galaxy Force 2 on the bottom left. What
right
is
here,
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Star Fox.
that? Oh, whoops.
It looks like an early version of the first Star Fox. Yeah. Can you feel the awesome power of the Super FX? We can, and so will you. So we got Final Fight 2 up here. Of course, Tasmania. And Breath of Fire. I'm a big fan of the first Breath of Fire game. Never really played the other ones. Although I do have them all. Actually, I don't have 2. But
you haven't played the PlayStation versions, 3 and 4?
I mean, I have them. But I mean, I don't have 2. I've almost bought it multiple times, but 2 has what I would consider like one of the worst English translations of all time on it. Like it's right there next to Wild Arms 2 for me. Where I just have no real interest in playing it because the translation is gibberish basically. So this had me thinking though. Like so if we're looking at April 93.
Yeah.
2 months after this magazine came out is when I would go to Consumer Electronics Show. I went in May of 1993. The very end of May. Maybe it might have been early June. I remember it was like 2 weeks before Jurassic Park came out. Is when I went to the CES.
I mean, I'm sure you're saying it was the summer CES in 93.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm sure you could just look it up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was still in school. The school year hadn't ended. And like where I went to school wouldn't really end until went let out for summer until probably like almost the very end of June, like around June 26th or something like that. June 23rd maybe. Because in New York State we had the Regents tests for like high school kids, and they would have to take these standardized state tests.
I see.
So they'd keep everyone else in school until the high school kids were done with that. Oh, this thing. Who did a video on this? Was it a Wrestling with Gaming?
Maybe it was Scanline City.
Did he on the championship joystick? Somebody did a video on this recently.
Yeah, I agree. I remember that.
I feel like was it Wrestling with Gaming that did it? Maybe. Either way, like this thing was awesome, and my friend and I, who were both like big Street Fighter fans, both bought it, and it was like $80, $90.
You had that.
Yeah, but then I returned it because I spent nearly $100 on an arcade stick.
But is it cool, or you returned it because it's crappy?
I mean, it was good, but it was. I just returned it because it's like I didn't really feel like
the shell or whatever looks like it probably kind of sucks. But I mean, it seems like it's got arcade parts in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the video that I watched on it said this like really well made.
Yeah. It looks like it's in like a project box from Radio Shack, but
Yeah, but I
I've
mean, at the
I've
time,
never
I
held
mean,
one, so I don't know.
you know, when you think about this looks like a real arcade stick. When you compare it to something like Capcom's own Street Fighter 2 stick,
For
which
sure, for sure.
like it may have been fine for all like playing with it, but if you wanted something that felt like the arcade game, you'd want this something like this would strike you as more of something you'd want, especially since
Definitely.
it has the bat top stick on it, which
Yeah.
a lot of people don't talk about very much
Yeah.
or
I mean,
don't
I'm not
like
a
them
fan
that
of the
much.
bat
But
tops, but those were pretty ubiquitous, I'd say, in the early 90s.
yeah, okay. So the unlikely Toad is saying it was wrestling with gaming. Excellent.
There you go.
But
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
did you get
we both bought it and then we both returned it because it's like we spent all of our money that we saved up on this arcade stick, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Hey, did you end up picking up one of these 8-bit dough sticks?
I didn't. It's pretty good.
Really?
Did you get that for
Pretty.
your Mister?
Yeah. And
But now you
already
got the Mister Cade,
swapped
and
out
who
the
even cares?
joystick. You what?
But now you have the Mister Cade, and
Well, that's true. But
I got one of those Astro City sticks for the Astro City Mini, and that works
yeah.
with the Mister. But is
Yeah,
that pretty good?
was
Is that
pretty
8-bit
sweet.
dough stick pretty good?
I mean, I changed out this. I put in a different stick,
Mm.
and I put some button dampers on the buttons. I mean, I haven't really used it that much just because I haven't really been playing my Mister lately because I'm recording all this, PlayStation footage.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. It seems fine. I mean, it's a cool. I pre-ordered it like when they made it available for pre-order, so which was like forever ago. But I mean, it seems like a cool stick.
Craig Wan is saying, plan on getting the 8-bit dough stick. Would you
Yeah.
say it's worth it? I plan on modding mine. How much is it? Like,
I forgot. That's what I was about to ask him. I forgot how much it is. I want to say it's like $80 or something. I mean,
is
I
it
don't know. I
wired
can't
or
say
wireless?
I don't know what else it's compatible with. Like, can you use it with like a PS4 or PS5 or I don't know. Like,
I see that same name, different game is saying bat top, octogate, concave buttons for life. And I mean, I'd go along with
yeah,
that, although it's not a popular choice. But I mean,
I agree with
that
the
is what I
Octogate.
know. That's what I knew,
That's it.
or what I know, like from arcades.
Well, it's funny though, because same here, but then like once I started using convex Japanese style buttons, I just like them a lot
Yeah.
better. So,
But still, I mean, this feels like playing in the arcade. I mean, I would be I'd be interested to try out one of these, but I think these are really expensive now, and there's not very many of them made.
yeah.
I have no idea how my friend and I each got one from the same electronics boutique. I think we had to special order them. And we still ended up returning like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of crappy of us. Oh, we still got a TurboGrafx section here. Turbo Tunes. Bomberman 93. Bomberman. You a big fan?
I'm really not, just because I don't have anybody, that I could play that with.
Yeah, I'm
I
the
don't-
same
I mean,
way.
I'm just not sure how much fun Bomberman is single player.
I wonder if my kids would like Bomberman. That might be fun. Maybe, if they were just playing it with each other, they might think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Riot Zone.
I think I might have that game.
I mean, it looks okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the characters are kind of generic looking. This one guy's doing this special move where he's completely flipped upside down. He must be spinning and he has both his arms out.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
This guy right here, he looks like the See, it looks like the chief from Snatcher. What's the chief's name in Snatcher? Kind of looks like him. If anybody remembers what the chief's name in Snatcher, his name is, let me know. Because that guy looks like
somebody
him.
will come up with it in the chat, I'm sure.
Yeah, Benson Cunningham. Doesn't look? It kind of looks like him. Thanks for coming, Gillian. Oh, look at this. Only one page dedicated to Lords of Thunder. Have we talked about whether or not you like Lords of Thunder more or less than Gate of Thunder?
We have not talked about that, but I like Lords of Thunder a lot less than Gate of Thunder.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Like I don't have an issue with Gate or with Lords of Thunder. Like it's a cool game, but Gate of Thunder is like on a whole different level for me.
Yeah. I mean, Gate of Thunder is one of the best shooters on the system, I think.
Yeah. And it's not too difficult. Like
No.
If somebody's not like people who say that like, oh, I'm not good at shooters, like
That's a great one
Gate
to
of Thunder,
start with.
because it takes a while before it starts kicking your butt, you know?
Yeah, and I think that people, like, if they're looking for a good first shooter,
Yeah,
because you can get pretty overpowered early on.
definitely.
And even if you die, you only lose the weapons that you were equipped with at that time, like on that specific type of shot. So you still have your other ones. I don't know. It's just really fun to play, and the music I think is a lot better. I mean, I'm sure that the Sega CD version fixes a lot of like the music. It just like it's too high pitched sounding on the TurboGrafx. I think. Like the guitars
Same name,
are
different
too.
game says he thinks that Lords has a better soundtrack than Gate of Thunder does.
Interesting.
know.
I mean, I think that overall, I like
that music that plays during the opening cinematic of Gate of Thunder is so awesome.
It is, but I really like the second level music.
Yeah,
That was the level that really solidified it being like one of my favorite shooters.
is that Bonk? That's Bonk 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even looking at it now, like
Yeah.
these huge sprites are really impressive. I mean, it's just it's so big that you would think like, you know, like I would want to have this system. You would think that the system is more powerful than it is based on just like this large sprite.
Yeah. Someone in the chat called Gunboo says you should have Bithead 1000 on to talk about Gate and Lords of Thunder. Well, I don't know if Corey's tried. I can't get Bithead to come on my show, so.
I mean, I can't believe we didn't go on yours.
He's shy.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been on some streams before.
Well, for sure, he was on somebody's podcast.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. He's probably he's intimidated by my diction. That must be it. But I don't know why he's brought that up on his show like at least twice, talking about my diction.
Just like the way you pronounce words?
Yeah. Like it's too perfect. Like, you know, he has like perfect diction, which I don't think I particularly do, but I always feel like
you kind of do. I have to admit.
What?
Have perfect diction.
You do? Yeah, you have pretty good diction. Yeah.
I don't. But I mean, I think that yours is very good.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you sound like Monty. You said there's some big diction X.
I have big diction energy. Yeah, that's the new BDE. That sounds like a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
Just a little CG2 on the front and big diction energy on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should you should go with that. I mean, you know, you're very good at enunciating your words.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think I do that on purpose because otherwise I'll mumble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have the same. I tend to mumble a lot. I
Yeah.
get kind of carried away. I mean, I've really been trying to make a concerted effort to stop in my day-to-day life. I don't know, like sometimes there'll be something going on and I'm like, I need to like go and do something. I will like tell my wife I'm going to do it, but I'll like also mumble it so that she has like no idea what I said. Like I gotta go and I'm gonna go grab my water or something like that. I will say it so quietly and she's like, where have you been? Or what'd you go and do? And it's like, well, I told you. And she's like, I couldn't understand you. I've been making a specific effort to do better at that. See, so they were still a store at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how long the store lasted.
I don't know. I'd be curious.
A little Road Rash reference. Look at this, $24.99.
Funny, my friend Anthony used to live in that area somewhere. Because he used to go to I don't know if you remember, you'll see ads in the back of some of these magazines for a place called Games Express.
Yeah.
That was also in roughly the same area of Los Angeles. And he used to go shop at Games Express, and like I think one time he took the bus and went all the way over to Die Hard, and like there was a sign in the window that like, they were closed for lunch. And I think he had to leave because he was in college. I think he had to go to class or something. And
Yeah.
then like he never went back. So it's too bad.
Yeah, it's really too bad.
But he went to Games Express, and that's cool.
And Game Dude must have been around at the time too, right?
Yeah, I've been to Game Dude. I got my copy of Shadow of the Beast for Turbo CD. I got that at Game Dude.
Oh, really?
Game Dude's weird. Like you go in there and they have like, have you ever been to Game Dude?
Yeah.
So you know how you go in there and they have the price lists? Like they have that big rack, with all the different sheets for like, Genesis,
Right,
whatever, And so like, you grab it or whatever, and it was the price list for like TurboGrafx and Turbo CD games. And it's just whatever the price is on there, that's the price. And I went over to the Turbo display case, and there was a brand new sealed copy of Shapeshifter, but like they don't have like a new price and a used price. They just have like the price.
Yeah.
And so like I paid like $25 for a brand new and sealed copy of Shadow of the Beast.
Is it? Oh, okay. So Shadow of the Beast is the Japanese version of. Is that Shapeshifter is? Like
No. Sorry, did I say Shapeshifter by accident?
Yeah.
No, that's two different games.
Okay.
I might have misspoken, but no, it was Shadow of the Beast.
Okay.
I don't have Shapeshifter.
That's a pretty good deal. I went to buy a copy of Shadow of the Beast for the TurboGrafx CD, and it's like over $100 now. Like the whole reason to have that game is because of the soundtrack, I think.
Yeah, I think that game sucks, but it's got an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean that's like
in my opinion.
That intro music is so good. It's so weird because I love the amount of reverb on like the drums on it, like on that first track. But I mean that's like
this was like 8 years ago though, so I mean it was, I'm sure it wouldn't be $25 or whatever now.
So if it's sealed, I mean, what did you do with the Game Dude sticker? Because I feel like it should be anybody who buys a game from Game Dude and removes the sticker should like spend a week in jail.
It didn't have one.
See, I mean,
sealed. But I got I don't remember how many games I bought, but for sure I also bought a copy of Mercs for the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dragon's Fury, I think, for the Genesis. The Dragon's Fury.
And you left the Game Dude stickers in there, right?
Yeah, those both had the Game Dude sticker on the inside of the case. And then, of course I left them.
Yeah. It's important that the Game Dude stickers stay in there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I have. I have something that I got locally from a store that had a Game Dude sticker in it. The
Yeah,
Genesis game.
I think I might actually have another game that I bought not from Game Dude that has a Game Dude sticker in it.
So over here we got Parodius.
Proteus DAW,
Is that so? That's what it is. That's the.
isn't it?
It just says Parodius.
But that's Proteus. I can tell from the screenshots that's Proteus DAW.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't.
Got
say...
that chick, up on the top.
Right. Right.
But that's like I think that's like the end boss from. I forgot which Gradius game. It was like the spider boss, and that's what that chick is like based on. It's pretty funny because he's like this scary spider boss, that's got like arms and legs or whatever, and it's like moving around in the cave, And so then somebody was like, "Hey, you know what that looks like? Is like a Las Vegas showgirl. So like, let's put that in Parodius DAW,
Yeah.
but then have her like thrusting her hips at you."
I mean, it's memorable.
Yeah. She always kicks my ass though. Like I always get stuck on that part of Parodius DAW. I always end up getting hit by one of her feet.
I've really only played. I have the Japanese PS1 collection.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I've really played.
Oh,
But
well,
she's the
only
boss of the
Proteus
first level.
game I've played because I have it for PC Engine. It's a really good game though. I know I've talked about it on my show before, but it's I know it's all silly and whatnot, but it's a really solid shooter.
Yeah, I wonder if that's considered the best one.
I mean, I don't know about that. There's a lot of Proteus.
Yeah.
There were quite a few Proteus games that came out, so I can't say that's the best one, but it's a very good one. It's one of the better shooters you can get on the PC Engine, that's for sure.
Ryan Benno is saying, as someone who lives about 5 minutes from Game Dude, I'll go to Game Realm any day of the week because of those stickers. So you don't want the stickers?
Some people get all, particular about they don't want stickers on their games. I get it. But to me, it's just like Game Dude. The fact that you have like a independent game store like that's like, you can read, ads for the store in like an old EGM, and then the store is still there. Like for me, like they've earned the right to have me leave their stickers right where they are inside Genesis games.
Yeah.
But it depends. Like if they were selling, like for instance, like a cardboard box game, and they stuck that sticker on the cardboard box, that would be like a deal breaker.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But I mean, I just think about, just the name Game Dude is like an instant conversation starter.
Yeah.
Game Dude is a great name for a store. So this game, I don't know what it's actually called.
Anything Dude is a good name. Like I'm surprised that there's not like a dispensary around here called like, Weed Dude or Pot Dude. You could have like a liquor store just called like Booze Dude or Beer Dude.
Yeah, like why is nobody doing that?
There should be a convenience store called Grub Dude.
There you go. I mean, I do like Booze Dude. Doobie Dude. Doobie Dude.
Yeah. Do you guys have those there? Is that legal? Is that legal where you are? Probably not, huh?
In Kentucky, no. We'll probably be the last to make it legal.
Here it's like crazy. Like I'll be driving, like there's one dispensary downtown, and like anytime I drive past it, there's like a huge line like out in the parking lot.
I mean, whatever. Especially if you're just like hanging out by yourself at home, or just like in quarantine.
Yeah, it's not for me, but
so I have no idea what the horror story is.
Oh, just that the logo or whatever you want to call it of the title looks super familiar.
Oh, we got a $1 from Brandon Bailey. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
With no message, but if you have a follow message, feel free to post it. This almost looks like Ghostbusters, the Genesis version of Ghostbusters in a way.
That's a pretty good game too.
That's really it's definitely a good game. I did a video on that a long time ago.
Like a dedicated video.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, wow.
it's like 6 minutes long.
It's probably about right.
Back in the day when I could.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's back when like generally YouTube videos were like 5 or 6 minutes long. You know.
Yeah,
Those were the days.
those were the days. Oh, we got Cotton. The first one.
Yeah.
I've never played this version. I've not played a lot of them actually. I've really only played the Saturn ones. Although I'm excited to play Cotton Reboot.
Yeah. Not super into Cotton.
Yeah.
What's the Graveyard?
The Graveyard is like I think where it shows. Usually it shows the ending of a game. I always thought.
I mean, I'm just curious because why it's Last Battle. This is from '93, right? This magazine.
So I mean,
So,
that
like,
game's
Last
4 years
Battle
old.
is, like basically a 4-year-old game.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well, they probably had to do this because like I don't think anybody who owned Last Battle probably beat it.
I mean, I don't. Somebody must have out of desperation, but God, that
Out of desperation. I mean, maybe I should make that my goal is to try to beat this game. I just know that
What?
every time you kill an enemy and you punch them, they go flying. It sounds like they fart.
yeah, it's cooler if you play the Japanese version because then they like get all bloody.
Yeah.
But no, you could imagine, if you had a Genesis and you didn't hardly have any games for it, but for some, stroke of bad luck, you had Last Battle, you might get desperate enough to beat it.
I had Last Battle. I got it for Christmas when I got my Genesis.
Hey, you got a $2 donation from Monty G.
Thank you.
What is this I'm hearing that you don't even keep My Life in Gaming stickers in stock? What the hell?
Well, we ran out of them and then we never restocked them.
That's okay.
I mean, I could get around to doing it again.
Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been much of a demand. I mean, occasionally we will. I mean, we just sold a Night Trap Blu-ray earlier today.
Well, that's what happens to me. Just every once in a while, I get an email that somebody placed an order on the website,
Yeah.
and so I just send it out. But I don't do a very good job. Like I have all these things that I've bought that I haven't put in the shop yet. Like
Yeah.
holographic stickers and stuff because I'm just
Right.
like,
Oh, you
I
got
really just
holographic
bought it 'cause,
stickers?
yeah. Didn't I sent you one? I thought.
I don't think so. You sent me a mouse pad.
That's you seemed very ungrateful, by the way, by getting that mouse pad. That's one of only 2 that exist.
My
I
kids
don't
were
think
using
you
it.
understand the weight of that. This is the only other one. I'm using it here on my desk because I just wasn't happy with how they came out, so I don't want to sell them to people. But
Monty G just ordered 5 CGQ stickers.
yeah, see, because I have them in stock. See,
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Well, maybe I'll go on to
sticker order.
on a sticker
Well,
mule and do another order. But I mean,
I'm
mouse
gonna
pads I don't
call
really
you.
use that much because I use trackballs for everything.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been using these kind of trackballs for probably about 10 years. I started getting really bad wrist pains, and I switched over
even
to
when
this.
when you do video editing, you use trackball?
Oh yeah. I
Wow.
basically never use a regular mouse.
Wow.
I haven't for like almost 10 years, probably more.
That's crazy. Here, hold on. Somebody wants to see.
Yeah, I want to see the holographic stickers.
It's like a holographic effect. It's not like my face is in 3D or something. That would be sweet. I don't know if it's
Look
gonna
at that.
kind of. See?
Do those
It's like something you would have gotten out of a 25-cent machine when we were kids,
still?
It's pretty cool.
I mean,
I'm on I get all of Sticker Mule's promo emails.
right. They
So
stopped
whenever they
sending
have
to me.
we're doing a deal, you can get holographic stickers for like super cheap, and I'll just buy 50 of them. But so I bought all these, but then I've never put them on the website, so you can't buy them. So like what I do sometimes, I just send them to people. Like
Yeah.
somebody sends me something, I'll just send them back some stickers or something, and I'll put those in there. But
Well, I mean, that's what I did because I used to get the deal emails from them, and I got like My Life in Gaming logo buttons, like like pins, like pin buttons.
yeah, I know.
And I mean, I have a bunch of those, and like if anyone ever orders a Blu-ray, I'll put them in there. But that's it. But I mean, holographic stickers, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get.
Maybe I should see
enamel,
how
like
much
some
better they are
enamel
now.
pins. I was gonna make some of those. I'm not gonna make them, but
Make the what?
you know those, like, I don't have one. You know, like the enamel pins,
Right.
like those little metal pins. You know, I was thinking about having some of those made. I think those are pretty cool. I'm not really into buttons, but I'd go for the pins.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much those cost. So yeah, and as Gunboo points out, my artwork was made by the TNC Surf Designs guy. So pretty awesome.
I mean, it's basically like the last piece of art that you'll ever need to commission, right? Use it for
Probably. I
everything.
mean, I've always thought it'd be cool to have him do something else for me, like maybe make a banner or image or something. I don't know. I mean, I love the guy's artwork. So
really quick, back to Last Battle.
yeah, sorry.
So I mean, you never owned Last Battle?
I mean, not back in the day. No, I mean, I've had my copy for a long time, but
You know the main character in Last Battle, his name is Arzak.
yeah, Arzak, yeah.
A horrible name.
That's another example of a game that's really poorly translated too.
Yes.
Of course, they changed the entire story.
Right, because it was Fist of the North Star, and then they
and so it doesn't even make sense, like, at all. But it's not even translated well either.
What is the one thing? It's like you look like a great hero. You have the look of a great hero.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Look at this. I have to go into tape mode here for 3 count bout.
Yeah.
It's a wrestling game, huh?
Yeah. I wonder what made them decide to do that.
I don't know. Is this before or after Saturday Night Slam Masters?
Oh, that's a good question. If I had to guess, I would say it was after, but
Yeah. Because, I mean,
I don't know.
that's probably what would make them think to do that.
I'm sure you must have the same rule in your house that I have in my house about not playing Saturday Night Slam Masters unless it's actually Saturday night. I actually have the cartridge for the Super Nintendo. It's like a thing. Like I won't play it if it's not Saturday night.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what was the wrestling when they had like the Saturday night special, like what is it, like like WWF would have it on Saturday nights where it was on instead of SNL sometimes. It's like I assume that's where they got the name from. It's like Saturday Night Special or something like that. But I can understand that. Like I would not play Saturday Night Slam Masters like any other night than Saturday.
Yeah, you can. You got some donations coming in hot over there, by the way.
Oh, got a $5 from Brandon Bailey. Thank you. He says, "How do I send a pic of the first official Xbox Magazine special preview issue? How do you send a pic?
Like in chat, I don't think you can.
Yeah. I mean, you could always like upload it to a site and then post that link, but I'm not sure if it'll filter that automatically or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's on the cover? It's probably what would be on the first cover, on the cover of the first issue of.
I think I tried to look for that one time because I thought it would be cool to do a read through of it.
I mean, it's probably Halo.
Oh, Saturday Night Main Event, people are saying.
Saturday Night Main Event. That's it. That was like the last time I ever watched wrestling, basically.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I don't know.
I mean, it was cool, like at that time, but I mean, you know,
it was just
I got
cool
a little bit
back
older,
then
I
with
just
all the
never really
weird
watched it.
cartoony characters and stuff. You know, like
Saturday Night Slam Masters.
No, like WWF wrestling.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like all those memorable characters. Like I enjoyed that. Like I feel like now it's gotten like more serious, and I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't begrudge people that watch it. I just personally can't get into it.
Right. I mean, I haven't watched it in years and years.
Yeah.
There's also $2 from Jonathan G saying, "Have either of you ever tried to speed run a game?" And I have not. What about you?
No.
Sorry, I wish
But
I
then
had a
they'll
better
watch
answer than that, but I do not.
There's the guy that hangs out in my Discord who he's into like speed running games and like he has his own Twitch channel, so like sometimes I'll watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Just 'cause, I mean, he's just a nice guy, so I just like hanging out, in his chat or whatever. But like he'll try to he'll do speed runs of like Mega Man and stuff but like he knows like I don't know if you've ever watched a speed run of Mega Man, but like there's all these glitches in the game, and like so they use those, like you're like cutting through walls that you wouldn't think you could get through and stuff, and like that stuff's really interesting to watch, but like I wouldn't personally enjoy doing, like I just want to play the game the regular way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just speed running, it seems like it'd be so stressful.
For sure. What is that? There's that thing called like something like games done quick or whatever.
Yeah, that was just like last week or something like that.
Yeah, I should do something like that called like games done slow. Like trying to
Games
play,
done at the exact pace of like anybody else.
read the strategy guide and then die a few times. And hey, Magician Lord, that's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like around this time, everyone just talked about how hard it was.
It is pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I have the MVS cartridge of that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, is that a expensive one at this point? I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah,
All
it's weird.
MVS
That
games.
game got really. That used to be like one of the cheapest Neo Geo games you could get, just because it's it's pretty ubiquitous, and it's not, in the library of Neo Geo games, Magician Lord was never considered by most people to be that great of a game. But then for some reason the price started shooting up. Like I think when I got my copy for the MVS and I paid about $80 for it. That was like 5 years ago or more.
Is it like $3,000 now?
Well, I highly doubt it, but I mean I have an MVS, not an AES, so I hope no games have gotten to that point on the MVS, but
Yeah, I don't. But I know that a lot of AES games are like 3,000.
yeah, a lot of those are crazy expensive.
Yeah. There's a $4.99 from David Hensley. Thank you. He says, "Thanks for the content. Love the Let's Read." Well, I mean,
No, you're not allowed to call it a Let's Read on this channel.
yeah.
I do reads.
This is more of a let's peruse.
I'm joking, of course.
Let's take.
I didn't make up the name Let's Read.
Let's take 3 to 4 hours to look through a magazine.
Yeah, we've been doing it for almost 3 hours now.
I know.
Well, not quite.
2.5. But I mean, I really like the music in this game. That first level music is so good.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a cool game because like, I can just credit feed it, right? So like it's no big deal, but probably if I had played that game in the arcade when I was a kid, I would have considered it maybe a wasted quarter.
Yeah. Because you'd make it to like this guy and that's it. Like climb down that first ladder and you're done.
Yeah, the first boss is not super easy for sure.
We got another page of it, and another page of where we got some Nom 1975. They don't show any of those cutscenes though, unless these ones up here.
I was hoping. No, I don't think so. Well, actually, I can't see those, but there's a really famous still out of that game, and it's literally Animal Mother from Adam Baldwin from Full Metal Jacket.
I'll look that up. I mean that ranks up there with the screams and Golden Axe being from.
Right, that's what I always think of. Yeah.
We got. I see characters from Lunar here. Lunar. Isle Lord. Fey area. Is that like Faria or something like that? I don't know. It looks like a. I'm not. I guess it is a wolf team, but I was like, oh, it kind of looks like a. Is it Climax that made Shining Force and stuff? It looks like it. Looks like something they would have made. When I think about like anime style characters, like this is the time period I always think of. Is like late 80s, late 90s, or early 90s. Because I just can't. Like I haven't watched anime in years. But like just the entire art style is very unappealing to me these days.
Hey, you got a $5 donation from Dominic Rinaldi.
Oh, thank you. So
I got a question for Dominic there though. So you say you want a Commodore 1702 monitor. Does it still have the little flap that goes over the controls? Because for some reason, every time I see a 1702, that little door is like always gone. I don't know why.
The most dilapidated one works totally fine. Too bad you can't change just like the outside of them.
Well, I think he's talking about the Commodore 64s. He could totally do that. Just swap out the shell.
Oh, here it is. It must be the Japanese version of Lunar the Silver Star. Did you ever played this game?
No. And I have both Lunar and Lunar 2 for I have the whatever those little boxed collections are for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I never had one of the Sega. I don't have either game on Sega CD.
Well, it's very good. I am a big fan. I mean, I would say that the US version of the Sega CD game was probably definitely one of the more important games that I've ever played in my life. Like affected me more than most other games. And a lot of people, like don't like working designs translations, and especially now you kind of look at them and there's like some questionable stuff in them, especially now. But it was the first game I ever played, and I've said this a lot, that was written in a way where the characters felt like real people.
Oh wow!
And it was because of that I just like really connected with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I vividly remember I got it for Christmas. I'm guessing it was probably Christmas of '94, so a year after this. And I mean, it was one of those games I would just play. I would reserve it to like play at night, even though I wanted to play it all the time. But from the week from Christmas until New Year's, I made myself only play it at night, and I played through the whole game. And it was one of those instances where I just like did not want the game to end. And that's not something that happens very often.
Is that why you were limiting how much you could play it? Is just to try to
to draw it out for as long as I could. And it says here, experience one of the best soundtracks of all time. The complete versions, the remake versions, are very good, but the soundtrack on this version is just incredible. Yeah, the pacing and the story are excellent. I mean, the characters are just written in such a way where you really get the sense that they're good friends by the end. And a lot of them knew, like, they kind of partner off, like they don't all know each other, but like usually you have, a pair of characters that like know each other in your party. Yeah, I mean, it was. I got it for Christmas, and I still have that original copy. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Oh, Final Fantasy V. I know a lot of people love Final Fantasy V. Have you played Final Fantasy V or any Final Fantasy games really?
Oh yeah, I've played several Final Fantasy games. So I'm trying to remember the Japanese versus American numbering system.
5 never came out here, at least
then I
originally.
Yeah, then I haven't played it.
And I don't think it came out in the U.S. until Final Fantasy Chronicles Or is it Final Fantasy Anthology on the PS1?
I feel like that was Anthology, which it's funny because I bought all those right when they came out. Like I bought every Final Fantasy game on PlayStation right when it came out,
Yeah.
but I didn't play most of them. Like I remember I played what's Final Fantasy 2? Is that 4?
Yes.
So I played that one because like I didn't have a Super Nintendo, right? I had a Genesis back in those days.
Mhm.
And so when whichever Final Fantasy collection 4 ended up on, I played that one, but I didn't play most of the other ones. But like I've beaten the original Final Fantasy on the NES. I think I've beaten that one a couple times actually. And then like I said, 2/4, and then I mean Final Fantasy 7 is one of my all-time favorite games, as is
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 9, which I
Okay.
also really liked. It was only 10 like Final Fantasy 10 is what got me to stop caring about Final Fantasy. Tactics, I liked Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about like Squaresoft on the PS1 was so good, just in general.
Oh yeah.
But so Final Fantasy 2 /4,
Yeah.
or yeah, I guess as we used to say online back in the day, you'd say Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4J.
Yeah.
Was the RPG that I played after Lunar.
Uh-huh.
And I bought it used from a store called Zappers. And Zappers is pretty awesome though. You could go in there and took up the back half of a Hollywood Video. Actually, it wasn't Hollywood Video. It was another store called Video Factory, which I think might have been just like a Western New York type of place. And you could pay 50 cents and pick any game in the entire store that they had.
Yeah.
And they had a huge like row of TVs, and they would let you play that game for 30 minutes for 50 cents.
Dude, that's a good deal.
That's a super good
like
deal.
going to an arcade.
Yeah. Yeah. But I bought Final Fantasy 2 from there. And I thought it was amazing. But it didn't, like, the characters didn't resonate with me the same way. But I mean, for the longest time, I would have said that Final Fantasy 2 is my favorite.
Yeah.
But although now I think I would say that Final Fantasy 3 or 6J, as we would say, is my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
But both of those are good. And I think that I probably would have said that 2 is still my favorite if it hadn't been re-released so many times. 6 hasn't been like remade a million times in different ways that I guess I just feel more like burnt out on 2. I got Dragon Ball Z. I'm not really a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
I know nothing about
Me either.
Dragon period. So
it's a very similar situation as Pokemon, where it started to became popular in the US, and I was probably too old for it at the time.
Well, that's where I've still never played a Pokemon game.
Yeah, me either. I guess I played Snap, Pokemon Snap with my kids.
Yeah.
But I've never played all the way through like a real Pokemon game. Where's Try? It's just probably hanging out at home.
Yeah. Chilling with his dogs or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Dragon Ball Z, not really something I've ever paid attention to very much. Now we got Dragon Quest V. Kind of interesting to think about that though, that Final Fantasy V and Dragon Quest V came out so close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So they were, when they were competing, as they were like the main RPG competitors, they had to really come out very close to each other, probably.
Yeah, it still blows my mind that those games didn't come out here on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Only because like this, the Square Games did well here, I would say. You know, what we got is Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Chrono Trigger, but like Enix never thought like, we'll go ahead and localize, you know, Dragon Quest V for the Super Nintendo and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it seems like they really went hard on the NES trying to get it to pick up. You know, releasing 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really giving it a shot. And I think once you got to the Super Nintendo, like, that's when Final Fantasy games started to pull away in terms of graphics.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were close to releasing one of them at some point, and then
Mhm.
Final Fantasy 3 came out with really good graphics, and they thought like, oh, we can't really compete with that.
Hmm.
Because I mean, one of the things I'll always remember is like passing up getting Earthbound, because after Final Fantasy 3, it just did not look good. You know, the
Yeah.
graphics were poor compared to Final Fantasy 3. But I would eventually play this on the DS and liked it a lot. I don't know what Vilgust is.
No idea.
The battle system almost looks kind of like Lufia 2 at least. Oh, Shining Force. I have both of these, but I've never played either one of them to completion. I guess the closest I've ever gotten to finishing any of them is Shining Force CD.
Mm-hmm.
I got Shining Force CD when Zappers went out of business.
Oh no. As far as Shining Force goes, like how much, like I always see people like referring to Shining Force as like a tactical RPG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how much do you agree with that? Because the limited amount I've spent playing Shining Force, it almost seems like you're playing a JRPG that just has a battle system that's more like playing an American RPG like Ultima or something.
I mean, I've never played any of the Ultima games, or
Uh-huh.
most like of those early, like American developed or even just like English developed RPGs. I mean, I can't really compare them. I mean, I think of
Mhm.
this as more like something like Fire Emblem, where it's
Yeah,
where
that's what
it's
somebody says in
you know,
your
it's like a
chat.
strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Arc the Lad. I'm sure you played Arc the Lad, right?
I
Have
have
you
not.
just like even a little bit for any of your videos?
No, it's never come up. I mean, I'm sure maybe someday it will.
Because I think that was like a launch game in Japan. The first one was.
Hmm.
But I should really. I know that Tries played through this. He played through this on Virtual Console. I should give it another shot. But it's like Fire Emblem. King Colossus. This got like a fan translation, didn't it?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that game.
Maybe I might be getting it confused with that, like the Beggar King. It's like kind of a isn't that like a fan developed
Beggar
game?
Prince. Yeah. Beggar Prince.
Beggar Prince, that's it. Do you have that?
Believe so.
I never played it. Oh, we got Postmeister. This is where it's kind of interesting that the letters are in the back of the magazine.
Yeah, that's not something you normally see.
Interestingly, I wonder if this is what this says here, because it's from Greg Sashimi X Cam. You know, when I was going through some old discs that I had laying around here the other day, and I found this DVD that had archived material from 1999 to 2005 on it. And it has like all of my like chat logs and stuff like that, which is crazy. Like from when I used Trillion, like all my old ICQ chat logs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's when I knew, like I had like a video from some of the stuff that was on GameFan Online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever really talked about this with you, but so GameFan Online was like a different team from the magazine, but some of those people would go and write stuff in the like for the magazine. So the guy who did the video for GameFan Online was Postmeister for like the back half of the magazine, like the after Dave Halverson left.
Mm-hmm.
And I have and he would edit all these videos for the website. And it was just, I mean, it was seeing the videos that he would cut is like what got me interested in video editing. Like video editing games, at least.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting because like he was making game trailers before game trailers were like even a thing.
Yeah.
He was like recording footage and like putting them to like music and doing all this other stuff. And this was a time where you have to download a QuickTime movie that was like 120 by 160, and it was like 5 megs, and it was it'd take an hour to download.
Yeah,
so
that's like back in the early days of Classic Game Room. It was the same thing.
Oh, so before YouTube and stuff, he would do videos that he'd have to download. Or you'd have to download.
Well, I don't know if you had to download them. I think it might have been on like an early streaming service, but yeah, this was way before YouTube. It was in like 1999.
I had no idea.
He was, yeah, that's what he always says he was the original internet video game review show.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess if he was doing it all the way back then, definitely.
Yeah. It's fun. You can still watch those old videos too. Like he re-uploaded some of them to YouTube.
But the channel is basically gone now, right? The YouTube channel is gone.
The channel's still there. I just don't think he uploads anymore.
Yeah, I know he was doing like a lot of like
content is still there.
I wonder what he's up to now, because I know he's like doing comic book stuff for a while, but then he that kind of disappeared too.
Did it? I don't really keep track. I mean, I thought he was making videos and putting them on Amazon, and I thought he was right. He's like he writes books and stuff too. So
yeah,
I don't know how much of that stuff he's still doing like right now.
But one of the videos that I found was the GameFan Online Takes Hollywood, and it's like a bunch of people from GameFan like hanging out and going to places, and it's just like set to music of them just like walking around Hollywood.
How many of those old videos do you think you have?
I mean, I have like a bunch of the ones I did, and probably I don't know, probably like 10 videos that they did. Like I know I have a Soul Calibur one, I have a Dead or Alive 2 one. There's a Virtual On Oratorio Tangram one.
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of them.
Are they
Oh yeah,
on
see,
YouTube
so
anywhere,
James Boone is saying I remember those videos. The one I remember was for Virtual On.
There you go.
Stage music from the Saturn version of Virtual On. That's right. Yep. I have that. I found it on this
You should
disc.
upload those to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like you could put them on the Video Game B-roll channel.
That's true. I mean, I'd have to like blow them way up because, like I said, they're like 120 by 160.
Yeah. Or just put them in a little tiny frame.
Yeah, they'd be like this.
You know what you could do is like find
postage stamp size
images. You could find like a real player frame or something. Like put it in like a little real player frame and put that. That'd be kind of cool.
I should. I mean, I wonder if the guy who made them even still has those, because I talk to him every once in a while. I had a chance to meet him, and it's just funny because the videos that he did like had an enormous impact.
Yeah.
On what I would do with my life, essentially. Because seeing the videos he did is when I was in community college, I saw one of those videos and I said, I'm gonna like download a cracked version of Adobe Premiere and
make a video with it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a capture card, which I found like the instruction manual for that capture card on this disc. And it was like the STB, like TV tuner or something like that. And I could record video
Mm-hmm.
onto I think it was like an 8 gig hard drive at the time. And
Yeah.
I remember making like this really elaborate Metal Gear Solid trailer.
Uh-huh.
And I lost that.
Oh, that's too bad.
In a hard drive crash, because I would love to see that now. There's so much stuff that I ended up losing from that hard drive crash. But man, I would love to see that now. And you know, I did it for a class, so I wonder if I could get in touch with my teacher if my teacher would still have that disc that has it on. It's very, very possible.
Yeah.
But maybe I will upload that stuff. I mean, I'll ask for permission first, but I mean, it probably wouldn't matter. He'd be like, "Oh, fine," or maybe he has higher quality versions of them.
Maybe he still has the original. You know, the originals.
Yeah, I should ask.
Yeah.
It's got like for people that are familiar with like the late Game Fan issue, it's like has like or Game Fan Online. It has like Dango Head is in it, who is Anthony Chow. Who else? Levy Buchanan was one of them. I don't remember what his name was. Maybe it was Fury on the site. Someone named Jay Bohr. I wonder what a lot of these people went on to do. Yeah, it's Emperor Ernest. It's Kevin DeSelms. And Kevin DeSelms is a real estate agent in Colorado, and it's in the same town that Dave from GameSack lives in.
Oh. Yeah.
It's just funny the way it all like a lot of weird connections, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't mean to get so sidetracked. We're winding down here. We only got a couple more pages.
Yeah. Is it other stuff like that looks like a Quarterman?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's weird they would put this so far in the back, but
Yeah.
not as exciting, I guess.
I mean, I think like the rumors and whatnot, like gaming gossip is cool, but like the first video game magazine I ever subscribed to was PSM, right? Which wasn't until the late 90s when I got a PlayStation, and it was the same thing. They put all the letters and stuff all the way in the back, which it kind of makes sense, I guess. But it's funny. I used to read all the art. Like now, when I read these magazines, I always think the letters are stupid, because like a lot of people asking like really dumb questions.
Yeah,
like based on what we all know today. But like when I would get those issues of PSM, like I would always read all the letters.
Because you never know what kind of nugget would be hidden in there.
Yeah, well, plus I used to read those issues just cover to cover,
And then after you finish it, you'd probably go back to the start and do it again.
Yeah, I mean, because I didn't have for a lot of that time I didn't have like internet. I mean, this was like 97, right? So I mean, the internet was, the web as we know it today was just sort of forming,
right,
becoming more popular. And so I was still, that those issues of PSM was my primary source of information for PlayStation games. And I think it wasn't for maybe a couple of years later when there was psx.ign.com, and I used to go to that.
Oh yeah, I remember when IGN would have like domains for each of the systems.
Yeah, because I mean, I used to go like when the PlayStation 2 was getting ready to come out, and I would go to ps2.ign.com and like I was reading all the news, and then there was dc.ign.com for the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
and you can still look at a lot of it if you go to the Wayback Machine.
Oh yeah,
the Internet Archive. You can still see that stuff.
Yeah, I love going to the Wayback Machine. You can go to GameFan Online and see stuff.
Yeah,
which I like doing. I see Emperor Ernest is like just dropping all this stuff in there, GameFan. See, I was never a big IGN person. Like I know that Try was a big IGN forum poster, but as Emperor Ernest is saying, Game Fan and the Next Level, those are the websites that I would go to. I mean,
Yeah, I never signed up for the forums at IGN. I would just go there to read like whatever new game reviews got posted. I read them.
It's funny. I think we did during one of the streams. We went back through, found a bunch of Try's old forum posts.
Yeah.
When I was looking through those old chat logs, I found a link to when I was selling a bunch of games off.
Yeah.
When I was trying to raise money to move to New York, I sold a ton of games, and I found like in one of those chat logs, I found a link to the page that I sold a whole the forum post that I sold a bunch of stuff from. And I remember looking at that list, and it's like I sold a bundle of Suikoden 1, 2, and 3 for $50.
Wow, that hurts. But I mean, how could you had no way of knowing, right?
No. I just needed to make the money that I could.
Yeah.
But anyways, the stuff that they're talking about over here, there's the exclusive first news on Street Fighter 3. It's on the cover, but they make you wait until like the second to last page. Make it seem
like
to even get the information.
Like a preview of the game or something,
It's kind of interesting. This is how close to being right they are, though. A new version will incorporate only two of the original cast from Part 2. Although they say Ryu and Sagat. That means 14 new characters. Instead of only 3 special moves per character, there's now 5. So Nintendo's second Super FX game is going to be called Superhero Racing. So I wonder if that's like the early Super
Stunt
FX.
race. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Konami is hard at work on their first Super FX title, Castlevania 5. It's kind of interesting that there was I wonder if they would ever go back and release something as Castlevania 5. There's really no reason to.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, I mean, kind of the
Hey,
same
did you
idea of
see,
doing a Crash Bandicoot 4.
What's that?
It's like the same idea of doing a Crash Bandicoot 4 or
Yeah.
and Turtles 5. But it makes you wonder if these games, like if there is the beginnings of a Turtles 5 somewhere out there.
Maybe not anymore. I mean,
But I mean, if they had like
Sadly.
any like materials for them to make it. Oh, get this though. And one final note. We know for a fact that the Atari Jaguar is real.
wow.
It's a
funny
64-bit
'cause
system,
I
and they're
was
shooting for a price around $200. Supposedly, all current Lynx developers will be producing games. This leaves the Lynx in certain peril. We'll have more killer information for you next month and other stuff.
That's kind of cool because I was reading a copy of, or I was reading an issue of EGM today, where Quarterman, like his lead-off story, I think, was talking about how Atari was going to stop developing. I think it was called the Panther. It was going to be like their 16-bit or 32-bit system, and that they were going to start working on a 64-bit system instead. But that was like, that magazine was like, I think exactly 2 years older than the one you're reading. So it's just crazy. 2 years later, the fake Quarterman is saying, "Oh, we can confirm that it's real."
Oh, like a
Laser
is it-
active there.
what?
There's a laser active right there.
There is a laser active.
That's
Wait.
exciting. It's got even shows the little packs.
Yeah. We got 1077 from Seven Kurgan. Thank you. So I just got back from work, and to my surprise, there's an MLiG stream. I always enjoy these magazine streams with Coury and Chris. Came in late, but is this Game Fan issue from Frank Cifaldi? And yes, it is.
Yes, it is. This is what showed up in my package. It's Volume 1, Issue 5. Kind of crazy, honestly. So I wonder what this is from. Is this like a Streets of Rage commercial, like a live action Streets of Rage commercial,
Yeah.
or Bare Knuckle? Sorry, or for Streets of Rage 2, Bare Knuckle 2.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
The text.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What's interesting though, if you look here,
That guy seems a little thirsty.
undoubtedly. Look here. You look at the
Wow.
look at these PVMs. Aren't those like 2050s right there?
20. That's a 2530, isn't it?
Yeah, or is it 2530? I don't know, it's like 2050 or 2530.
I had one of those that I got for like $5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the second time I turned it on, like I heard a loud pop in the back and a bunch of smoke.
Oh,
And I ended
well,
up just throwing like e-wasting it because this was like 10 years ago where there was no, like, now you can probably find somebody that would be, you probably blew like some whatever capacitor or something, but back then.
so down here we have the 3DO version of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
John Linneman loves to talk about this game, like, because it's so bad. It's just it's just like these really poorly made mini games with like fake versions of the characters, like other actors playing the characters. That's cool. I mean, it's cool to see the laser active just like in a little thing here.
Yeah.
You don't have one of those, do you?
No. I mean, for a while I would have loved to have one. Like now I don't really want one. It would just be like shelf candy.
We got $10 Canadian from Happy Console Gamer. Thank you. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Says retro gaming sucks. Move on, boys.
Yeah, get a job and buy a PS5, right?
Man, we should do if we do these like a couple of these every month, like we should have other people join us every once in a while.
That would be awesome.
It'd be fun to have Johnny on here with us talk.
Yeah,
old game
you
magazines.
You just replace me with someone more charismatic, like Johnny, for instance.
With better diction.
That's true. That's the trade-off. It's like you can't have diction and charisma. They don't go together. My energy is being used up, for pronunciation purposes.
That'd be fun. I mean, if we do these like a couple of these every month,
yeah,
we should. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun.
See, the only thing I don't like about that is just that it's like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Right.
It's like if you were gonna do like a let's read and have Johnny there, it's like you'd have your fingers crossed that it was gonna be like something TurboGrafx or Turbo CD related.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd hope so, but I mean, that's part of the appeal.
Yeah. I would just worry that like I would get somebody else and then we'd open the magazine and like I said, it would be like a Game Pro from 2003 and like.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
It wouldn't be cool, but I'm saying like I wouldn't know anything about. I'd be reading it, being like, "Yep, never played that game, never heard of that game." Like I just wasn't playing console games at that time,
Right. But still, I mean, whatever. I mean, that's part of the fun is you have no idea.
Yeah.
You just have no idea what you're beating for.
Sorry, Samacom wants to know if I signed up and show it again. Yes, mine is still in the black envelope, so we're not going to know what mine is for a while.
And
it's funny, it's like when you have presents under the tree before Christmas. Like I was already trying to squeeze it to kind of figure out like what information can I figure out about this magazine. Like, I figured out it's got a bound, like the spine is like bound instead of being stapled. So you can kind of eliminate certain things. You're like, well, it could be Nintendo Power or like a later issue of EGM.
But the thing is, I mean, Game Fan always as far as I knew, had like the bound spines to it. I'm very surprised to see a stapled spine. I just
Yeah.
didn't know. I've never had a Game Fan this early, so I had no idea.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
just
this is like, is this now your earliest issue of Game Fan?
100%, yeah. I think
Oh,
that
wow, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, after I finish with this, I'll take a look to see what my next earliest issue is.
Yeah. I want to say, I think I might have like, yeah, I have issue 2 because I did a read through with it.
You bought that off of one
Tim
of the guys.
Lindquist, man.
Yeah, that's right. You should tell that story really quick. You like
all
went to
right,
his house,
so-
right?
What's that?
You
Yeah, I
went
went to his house. I don't know if you flip over to the masthead. I don't know if his name is on there or not, but yeah. So this guy named Tim Lindquist, he worked at, I guess he worked at the store. I don't really. There he is, man. Tim Lindquist. He had a job working for Dave Halverson, I guess. He would design all of the layouts of all of the Die Hard Game Club ads that you see in like all the magazines. And so when they decided that they were going to make a magazine, Tim was the one that did the layouts for them. And like he was also the guy that took all the screenshots. They actually had some kind of computer capture card where like you couldn't record gameplay footage, but you could capture individual frames.
Mhm.
And that's why the
Right, they had
screenshots always look better in Game Fan, is they were the first people to actually get captures instead of like taking a picture of the screen. But Tim was a member of the Atari Age forums quite a long time ago, and I didn't know that that's who he was, like, because his forum name wasn't like Tim Lindquist 27 or something like that. It was like just some like forum handle kind of thing. And he put a post up on Atari Age saying that he was basically selling all of his video games, but he wasn't going to list stuff out. He wasn't shipping anything. But if anybody lived near San Francisco, they could come over to his house and check it out. And so I drove over to his house, and all of his stuff was in his garage. And like I went into his garage, and like there was no way you could get a car in there. Like the entire garage was just full of video games. And like I said, I didn't know who the guy was. I just thought he was a video game collector. But he had all of these issues of Game Fan, and that's why I kind of gravitated towards those, because my friend Anthony was a big fan of that magazine. I'm like, oh, my friend loves these. I'm gonna grab some of these. And then he grabbed issue number 2 and flipped it to the masthead and pointed to his name and said, "Oh, that's me." And so then I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I started talking about that and like, what he was doing now. Because there was that, what was that magazine? Hardcore Gaming, I think it was called. That
Hardcore Gamer magazine.
Yeah. So he founded that. That was what he was doing. He did that later. I don't remember if that was still going on when I went to his house or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then like he also had an industry job. Like he used to do the layouts for manuals, video game manuals. So, but anyway, so I bought a bunch of stuff off of him, like, and one of the things I bought off of him was several issues of Game Fan. So like, that's why I have Game Fan issue number 2, is because I bought it from him, along with some other stuff, and then just kind of a cool postscript to that story is that I did a read through on my show of Game Fan issue number 2, and I had a whole little blurb at the beginning about the history of Game Fan. And at some point, Tim Lindquist found the video on YouTube and watched it and really liked it. And then he emailed me and told me that if I wanted to do a read through of issue number 1, which is super rare, that I could borrow his copy.
You should totally do that.
But I guess he works for Sony now. Like he works for like their PlayStation arm or whatever. In like South San Francisco. And so, but he told me, he's like, well, I'm not willing to put that magazine in the mail because I don't want anything to happen to it. So if you want to borrow it, you have to come to like whatever Sony Computer Entertainment America is called now. It's got a different name, but he's like, you have to come to my office if you want to borrow it. You have to come get it. Which is like funny because it's like, oh, like, yeah, of course I'll come to the PlayStation's American headquarters. Yes, I would love to come there, please. Thank you.
For real. Like you got to do that.
Well,
I didn't know. I
this
didn't
was
know you offered that. I mean, that's huge.
yeah, it was a few years ago, so I don't know if I don't even know if he still works there or anything. I mean, I don't.
But you have his information. I'm sure you could get in touch with him somehow.
Yeah,
Unless you had his work email or something like that.
yeah. I mean, I don't like to bother people, so I don't want to like you know I didn't want to like bother him about it. I just thought it was cool that it's just interesting because I've had a few people like watch my Let's Read videos who like actually worked on the magazines that they're watching me like read through. Because then they'll contact me and say, "Oh yeah, that was me," or whatever. Anyway,
I think it'd
that's
be
the
really
story.
cool, especially for that issue #1.
Yeah,
But I mean, issue #1. I mean, it's been on eBay a few times, and it's like a couple $100, I think.
yeah. Well, it's just very rare. Like issue #2 was like the first mass printed issue. Issue #1, from what he told me, they had printed out however many they printed out, and then they were like driving around to like magazines, like news shops and stuff, and dropping them off personally, like, "Hey, if we give these to you, will you sell them in your store?" Just to try to get people to buy the magazine so that they would subscribe to it.
That's cool. I mean, they obviously they wanted to succeed, you know.
Yeah,
And
you have to admire.
I think that it's interesting because GameFan definitely had some of the most hardcore gamer followers, I think. I mean, that's why it was always like, it's considered to be such like a hardcore magazine as compared to EGM. And it's interesting because when we did this interview with Ed Samrad from EGM like a few years ago that we still need to release, but he says that, looking back, the only magazine out there that he felt could even come close to competing with the stuff that they were doing was GameFan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
just
would
cool to
agree.
hear him say that,
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, people who read both,
Yeah.
if they had a choice, like those are the two magazines that they would pick.
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean,
not to say that I think that those were the only two good magazines or anything, but like, like we were talking the other day about video games and computer entertainment, which
right.
I hold that magazine in very high regard, but they weren't trying to be on like the cutting edge of like what news is coming out of Japan and stuff like that. In fact, generally, video games and computer entertainment wouldn't even cover a game unless it was like already out here so that you could read about it in the magazine
Right.
and then go pick it up if you wanted to. But for like, if you were somebody that was trying to stay on like the bleeding edge of like video game information, then EGM and GameFan were the two magazines you wanted to read.
Well, there was a definite, like for VGNC for sure. I mean, it was definitely skewed towards an older audience. Obviously, it's just a lot more text, a lot less screenshots, a lot more PC coverage.
Yeah, Matt, I read through an issue of that yesterday just for fun, and probably half the issue was computer games. So
yeah, and it's
Which,
the only other
cool.
magazine that I read at the time that was even doing an alright amount of PC stuff is Game Players.
Yeah, but the thing with that, like I keep bringing up my friend Anthony, but it's because like he's several years older than I am, and so like he bought a TurboGrafx in '89 and a Genesis in '90, and he was already an adult. Like he was 18, 19 years old and had a job, and so he was like he would go to the newsstands every month and buy all these magazines right when they came out, and so like it's interesting to hear him talk about it. And like for him, because of the age he was, he would buy every single video game magazine on the newsstand when it came out. But like if it was Game Pro, he'd buy it, but he felt like he was reading like a kiddie magazine.
Yeah.
And like, he'd get it because it was something, but he wasn't like EGM was the one that he liked.
Yeah.
But then like he would buy video games and computer entertainment, but then he didn't have a computer. So like for him, it's like, yeah, he would flip through the computer section and be like, yeah, that looks cool. But like he knew he was never going to play it.
Yeah.
So for him, it was like half the magazine was basically like wasted space.
Right. I mean, it's true. I mean, even you and I, when we were like younger, when GamePro was still fairly new compared to the competition, like we knew that even then that GamePro was still pretty kiddie
Yeah.
compared to like the other stuff. And you just buy, like, I would just buy a GamePro because I basically bought every magazine that would come out.
Yeah.
Just because I just wanted to see more screenshots of anything.
Yeah.
Now I kind of like GamePro looking back on it because there's just so many ads in it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah,
fun to
but
look at those old ads.
I like GamePro had some cool covers and stuff, but
Right.
like I spend a lot of time going through video game magazines, especially digital scans of them, because I'm looking for visual material to put into my show.
Right.
Like if I'm making like a launch video or something, I want that material. And a lot of times I don't really care for the layouts in GamePro. Like a lot of times you'll find like a full page review, but it just looks it's very boring looking.
Right.
Like my favorite are to find the previews in EGM, because like EGM reviews were just that little column, because when it was the preview is when it would get like maybe like a full page or maybe even 2 pages of coverage.
Yeah. I mean, it was just another magazine to consume, essentially. And looking back, like the stuff in VG and CE, like it's just there's a lot of text, but now that's a lot more valuable, I think, to read that stuff.
Yeah,
now.
I enjoy reading it now. Yeah, but I mean, as we mentioned the other day, like I wouldn't have enjoyed it when I was 12.
Right. Yeah. It was just, I guess it was just aimed at an older audience that we were not yet a part of.
Yeah.
All right. So should we see what's on the final page? It's just an ad.
It's
A couple
kind
of
of a letdown.
ads. Although that's a
Yeah.
pretty good Road Avenger ad, I gotta say.
The ads are better than the game itself, in my opinion.
Really?
I'm not a fan of Road Avenger.
Oh, see, I think it's like one of the best games in the system.
Yeah.
It's
Robert
just
Lawrence says the EGM buyer's guides were cool back in the 90s. Well, check. I got a cool one right down here. This, by the way, I keep a box of magazines under my desk. These are
just
all
in
like
case.
potential like future Let's Read magazines. And like I was thinking about doing this one.
Oh.
That's the very first Super NES buyer's guide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like launch games and like games from like early 90 and stuff. But yeah, like these were this one's really beat up, but whatever.
What are some other ones in there?
So this is that I was talking about it earlier, that Mega.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
even in a bag because I can't find a bag big enough for this thing, but I got like the whole first year or something like that of this on eBay from the UK, but for like really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was neat because it's got this article in it. It's the top 100 Mega Drive games that had come out up to that point. And then it's got like a little article next to it called the Crap 10, and those are like the 10 crappiest games.
What were they?
Well, that's why this magazine got onto my radar, because I talked about it in the Genesis launch video, because one of the games that they put in the Crap 10, actually the number one game, meaning that it's the crappiest game on the Genesis, they said was Altered Beast.
No.
Which I vehemently disagree
Yes.
with.
I mean,
oh, here it is right here.
Altered Beast destroys Last Battle.
Well, so Last Battle's number 2. Like the 10 crappiest games, 1 Altered Beast, 2 Last Battle.
Wait, is Zoom one of those crappy games?
Oh, Zoom's not that bad.
No, it's good. It is good.
Yeah, no, it's not on here.
Okay, good.
Fantasia is though, and that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Fantasia
I
is
don't
just
wanna
a big
have spoilers
disappointment
for that.
after Castle of Illusion was so good, and also I think was Fantasia like before or after Quackshot. Either way, it's still like way worse than
than
Yeah.
either of those.
But I don't know what else have I got in here.
Altered Beast. I like Altered Beast. Altered Beast.
Oh, this is a cool one
It's a moment in time. Oh, Next Generation.
with Super Mario 64 on the cover.
What issue is that? Is that like number 2, or does it say 20 in there down there?
20.
Okay. Oh, Travis Suter is saying Altered Beast was in my top 10 Genesis. Oh. You know what? I bet you could. I bet Tom Kalinske would come on stream do a Let's Read with you.
I don't know about that.
I bet he would. I bet he would, because he's like always like really, really open to doing stuff. I mean, if you can't get him, I bet you could get like someone like Al Nilsson to come on.
Oh, I'm sure I could get him. I've talked to Al Nilsson more than once. So I actually bought this because I was kind of hoping, like, I wonder if I could send this to Tom Kalinske and have him sign it. Because I can use Al as my in. I'd be like, hey, me and Al are already pretty tight, so you should sign this for me.
I mean, I bet he would do it. I bet he would do it, because I think that he's generally pretty open to talking about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to waste someone like him. I don't want to waste his time. Oh, here you go. Here's that's issue number 1.
Right.
Of Next Generation.
Which is essentially the successor to video games and computer entertainment. In terms of like the kind of stuff that's covered.
Oh yeah. So I thought you meant it because video games and computer entertainment turned into video games, the ultimate something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you were somebody that enjoyed VG and CE, then Next Generation would be up your alley. That one's not good. This one's kind of cool. This is EGM number 78, but see, it's like the unveiling of what they were still calling the Ultra 64.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
I wonder, is that before? I mean, I guess that would be after the changeover of like after Sendai sold it.
Oh, I don't know when that happened.
I feel like that happened like right before the PS1 came out.
Oh, well then, yeah, it would definitely be after that. Oh, this one, I was going to do this one, and then I read through it. I don't know if you ever even heard of this magazine. This is Dimension PSX. This is issue number 1.
You mentioned this to me.
Yeah, so this is from like, I don't know when it's from. Does it say November of 95? So this is like not long at all after the launch of the PlayStation. But I read through it and like I don't know. I might still.
Is that too extreme on the cover, or like one extreme?
Yeah, it's ESPN Extreme Games, which later got renamed to One Extreme. But like I already read it and made the list of all the games that are in it. But I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know if I thought it was cool enough. But then there's that game, that PlayStation game. It's something F111X. I can't remember the first part of the name of the game, but they gave it's a really, really bad game, and they gave it like a 95, and that just makes me question the entire magazine.
Yeah. There's a $5 donation from Potbelly Punch. Thank you. He says there was controversy over the There is a controversy over the Road Avenger ad where someone thought the cracked glass spelled out a bad word, and someone wrote a letter to EGM. I remember that ad. I mean, I kind of feel like they might have been right.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like someone probably put it in there.
This is the issue I was reading of Video Games Computer Entertainment.
Is that it's not Bart versus the Space Mutants that's in there, right?
It is, yeah. This has the review of Bart versus the Space Mutants in it. They gave it a good review, which again, I'm just like, I don't know about that.
I don't have an option to make them full screen, or else I'll have to. I don't know how it'll work. I'm sorry. I just don't have a layout for it right now. But I'll make sure to do that for next time.
And then these two are the ones I'm probably going to do next. So I already did most of the video game recording and whatnot of Game Pro's handheld video games.
Yeah. You've
This
been
was
holding
like
on to that one for a while.
What's that?
I feel like you've been holding on to that one for a while.
Yeah, I've had this one for a while. I don't think he's here anymore, but Brian from Retro Mags actually sent this to me.
Ah.
But yeah, like I already recorded most of the gameplay footage. I just haven't gotten around to doing the read through. And then this is the big thing. I actually just got this in the mail today, but I already read through it and I already made the list of all the games that I have to play in it. But it's the EGM that basically served as the launch issue for the Super Nintendo.
Oh. And it's got the screenshots of the Mega CD down there.
Yeah.
So. I don't know if I've ever shown you. I have it for like the EGM documentary that we're gonna eventually release.
Yeah, but you
like
said you were gonna send me a link and then you didn't. So
there's like footage of them shooting those photographs at the Tokyo Game Show.
Oh, is it? I found some videos on YouTube of that was showing like it was like Ed Semrad and I think it was Ed Semrad and Martin Alessi, wasn't it? And they were like they were carrying the cone and everything and taking the pictures. Like,
I don't think it's out there anymore, but I contacted that guy and he like sent me all the footage, so I have it all here.
Oh, I just saw it on YouTube like a month ago.
Oh, maybe he put it back up then, because I know that he.
I hope so. That's really cool footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna do it. We got more James Bond: The Duel. I'm gonna look this up. It looks kind of cool.
Domark. I own one Domark game. I didn't realize that games were ever released in the U.S. under the Domark label, because I always think of that like Tengen games were released in Europe as Domark games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've ever seen this game on sale anywhere. It's just like kind of like, it's a Timothy Dalton Bond. There's only two movies.
Yeah, you said that was your favorite James Bond too.
Living Daylights was my favorite. I haven't seen it in a long time.
You said that he was your favorite actor to play.
Yeah,
James Bond.
I mean, like as a kid, I mean, I haven't seen those movies in a long time though. I should rewatch them. Should I see what the earliest game fan I had was? It's right here.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can leave all these fine people hanging. We all wanted them. Oscar, I think people took turns being, from what I've heard in a podcast that was like an interview with some of the EGM writers. They made it seem like Sushi X was basically whoever at EGM felt like doing it at the time.
But it was mostly Ken Williams. So this is the closest one I have is Volume 1, Issue 8. And I don't know if he's still here, but I bought this and several other game fans from Henry Clark on my way down to Florida to take care of my mom after knee surgery. I think it was in August. Oh, yep, there he is.
Cool. Yeah.
So even here, like, look, it's not stapled. It's got a spine on it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is the first one they did that with, or what. Still,
I need to buy one. I was watching this video the other day because like a couple of the magazines, because I bought the entire, like all 12 issues of VG and CE from 1991. And a couple of them have some cover damage around the staples. And I guess you can buy like one of those like really deep staplers, so you can stick something that far into it.
Right. Oh, so you can make more, or you can restaple them.
Yeah.
That's
because like you could pull the staples out so you can take the cover off, and then that way you could repair it from the inside instead of the outside, and then you could staple the cover back on, and it wouldn't look like as bad. I mean, once the cover gets ripped, I mean, you can't unrip paper, right? So, I mean, anything you do to it, it's going to be a repaired magazine. But the two magazines that I got that are damaged they're not like worth a lot of money or anything, but it just sucked because I really only bought all those magazines because I wanted one issue, and that's one of the issues that has kind of a damaged cover.
So, hang on a second. Let's see what I got here. So you said that the whole reason you got it is for that Madden issue, right?
Yep.
Because it turns out that I had that one right here.
Well, yeah, yours is messed up too. Yours is messed up worse than mine is.
So I think that Chris should do a video on the worst video games and computer entertainment covers.
Yeah.
And this one should probably win.
Yeah, that one.
Like that's terrifying, honestly.
Although it's pretty cool that you have a Battletoad riding a cobra.
Yeah, like a scary looking cobra.
In some ways, that's pretty badass.
It is, but it's like the cover of what's it called? Salamander.
Yeah.
But being ridden by the toad, by a Battletoad.
I had that down here, but I don't anymore. I put it back upstairs, but yeah, I mean, I would never make that kind of video though. I don't like to go negative, you know.
Yeah. There's a pretty bad TMNT cover too, which I don't think I have. But I just like some of the covers to this magazine, like they did some like weird stuff like this, but then they'd also have something like this where it's just like, here's our awards for the game of the month or the game of the year, and it's like this. You think they sent this trophy to like somebody who won?
Yeah, I think they did. But yeah, that's not a good cover. You can probably get that. I see you have like a dress label residue on that cover.
Yeah.
When I got all those 12 magazines the other day, I was able to peel all those address labels off with a hairdryer. You could probably get that off if you care.
That's maybe a little. I mean, if I got some time to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a time sink. I just like this guy though. Like that's freaking creepy looking right
I
there.
think they really copied that off of a Salamander cover, though.
I bet they did.
Yeah.
Look at this flashlight.
He wants to know, does your wife look at you when you're blow drying old magazine covers? No, it's her blow dryer. She knew what she was getting into when she married me.
Did she though? You think?
Oh yeah, I mean, we lived together for a long time before we got married, so there were no mysteries anymore.
Well, you know what? I can't believe we did a whole magazine in less than 4 hours.
Yeah, that's probably a record for us.
Unless it's Sega Visions, which was only 30 pages.
Yeah. Well, that still took us a long time, though, didn't it? I mean,
It did. I mean,
probably on a per page basis, that was our slowest read through.
well, you know, I'll be interested to see what yours is going to be. We'll have to. We don't know the date of it yet, but we'll. I mean, who knows?
I mean, we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait a half a month. I mean, we can.
No, exactly. I mean, we should just do it like. We could even do it like sometime during the week, if you're okay with that.
Oh, I'm definitely okay with that. Yeah. I want to try to get back to doing live streams, so that could be a way of, like, getting my Tuesday night live streams kickstarted again or something.
Heck yeah! I mean, Tuesday night, I'd be in for that.
Well, there you go.
All right, so I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
You want to post the link one more time for anybody who wants to sign up for the subscription or get one magazine from them, from the gamehistory.org?
Yeah, like you said, you don't have to sign up for a whole subscription. You can just buy a single magazine just for fun. I mean, it's like when you go to like Target and you buy like the Lego minifigure thing, where you don't know what you're going to get.
It's
until you open it,
it's you know, those there's a name for those these days, because I only know
What
this
is it?
because they're called blind bags.
Oh,
Where
well,
don't-
when you log on to Twitter, you'll see that somebody objects to that term.
Well, either way, like, I mean, that's what they call them in the all the videos that my kids have watched before. You know, bought way too many Jurassic World ones for my son.
Yeah.
Anyways, look for. I mean, this will probably be a regular thing throughout the month. So each time we get a new set in, and we'll both be doing read-throughs, and look for the one on Chris's channel, whether it's on the main channel or on CGQ Plus. Maybe Tuesday.
Remains to be seen.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks to everybody who donated and who stuck it out for the long haul. And see you later, everybody. Good night.